All right. Another week, another Centre Circle episode. Episode 82.
Yes.
Even
I had to think about it.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you again then. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? As usual, you've got myself, John, Adrian, Key, and Isaac is back. What's happening, bro?
Back like. Perfect time to come back, I say.
As you can tell by the accent, Liverpool clearly won today. Boy, got a lot to talk about, lads. We got a lot to talk about. We've got obviously the big match of the weekend, Liverpool City. I don't know where you've been, but by the time you listen to this, you should know. It was Liverpool 2, City 0. We're going to talk about West Ham's home drubbing against Arsenal, where they lost 2-5. Ruud van Nistelrooy's intro to the Premier League down at Brentford, where they lost 4-1. We'll talk about Chelsea's win against Aston Villa. You know Emery's tinkering strikes again. We'll talk about Ruben Amorim's continuing honeymoon period at Manchester United, and then we'll round up the rest of the Premier League fixtures. We'll also take a look at and try and understand what's going on with Mr. Mbappe down at Real Madrid after he got locked up by Liverpool's second choice right back. Right. Let's just get this over and done with. Liverpool versus City. Guys, is it a crisis? Let's talk about City first. Is it a crisis? Are they in problems? Because the way this game started is exactly how they left off the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I'd say it is now.
It's a crisis.
Yeah. Just in terms of the personnel, like we had a discussion offline about their rebuild or lack thereof. And it just seems that, weirdly for Manchester City, they had no leaders on the pitch today. Like, you've got players like Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, but Gundogan's come back from Barcelona, kind of a shadow of the player that left.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, he's shown glimpses of what he can do for the last maybe 2 or 3 years, but he hasn't been like at a consistent high level. And I think if you look around the pitch, there's no real players there to say, right, we're in trouble. I'm going to step up and kind of get us out of the mire. And going back to the defence, like Akanji and who started next to Akanji today?
Okay. Diaz.
Diaz, because Ake was left back.
Yeah.
You'd think, Diaz will be that guy to kind of step up and be like, lads, come on, like we've been through this before. Let's show a bit of grit and determination, and that just seems to be lacking throughout the whole team.
I mean, I try not to be too reactive because it wasn't that long ago these guys were picking up the Premiership, right? However, that was 6-7 months ago. And I look at the team selection, is that telling in itself? If you look at the midfield he picked, aside from Phil Foden, he's picked 4 centre midfielders. He's picked Bernardo, Ilkay, Rico Lewis, and Nunes. Like that is not a midfielder balance.
Do you think his intentions was to stay compact though, to limit the space?
Possibly, but the problem is where you're asking people to do that from is the issue. Nunes is on the left, doing something out there. I don't know what he was trying to do. Rico Lewis is on the right. So you got all these midfielders in the wrong place, structure-wise. Yeah, fine, maybe he was trying to plug some kind of gaps. But from the first minute when the whistle blew, I think the interviewer said after the game, it's like Liverpool smelled blood. And I think it was about 15 minutes in and I saw a stat. You know, they put the stats on the screen. Attempted shots on target, touches, blah, blah, blah. Liverpool's was all 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. Manchester City, 0, 0, 0. 15 minutes in. Possession, 60% Liverpool, 40% Man City. I don't know what I was watching. I thought someone made a mistake in the analysis team. So it's... I don't think anyone's being reactive now if you really say, look, this is... The City as we know it is finished.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it all about City. Liverpool were really, 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 really good. But I think we start with City. We start with the bad, and then we'll get on. We'll get on to the good. Isaac, what do you think? Do you think there's much to be read into his lineup, or was he just doing Pep and putting out a system to help him get through the game?
I think it was a system to get him through the game, to be honest, lad. Are you laughing? Don't laugh.
Why are you laughing? What's wrong?
Are you laughing? Nah, all right, so I'll say seriously though. I'll say seriousness. I think his team sheet, his team selection was indicative of bigger problems. I don't just necessarily think it's a case of, oh, I'm trying to plug gaps, or it's Liverpool and they're strong in the middle. And look, he had, like you said earlier, he had all his pace on the bench, KDB on the bench, Doku, all of that. So I think there's deeper problems within it, because if you look at it, can't just be Rodri gets pulled out the team and they fall apart like
They've
this.
said it every week.
I genuinely think it's a case of there's other things. I mean, you look at, like you said, Gundogan's come back. He's not the same player that he was when he left. Bernardo Silva, it's clear that he wanted to leave in the summer. Diaz is just coming back off a lengthy injury. Ederson sat on the bench. Like, there are problems in that City team. And I think it's all coming out now. It was only going to last. You can only, it's all well and great winning league after league after league, but you've got to maintain it. And you've got to rebuild it. And that's why Sir Alex was so good with United, because he'd look at the same squad. And Pep said it himself when he said it to Rio in an interview a couple of years back. Was the same squad you won your first title with the same squad you won your last title with? No, it wasn't. But for City, I just don't think they've rebuilt properly.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to come out now.
Yeah, I was having a similar conversation in another group earlier and saying, well, Fergie was throwing people at the team in their prime, and people look at him like, this is his arrogance, blah, blah, blah. But it's when it's right for the team, not when it's right for the individual. And then you look at someone like Kevin De Bruyne, he's been back from injury 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously, we don't know his physical condition. But you look at the midfield he's put out, Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench. He doesn't come on until the 79th minute. Unless the fitness level is that low.
I'd have started him. I'm sorry. I'd have started him and Grealish. Yeah. You start your big players and your big
even Doku. They didn't pace. There was no pace.
Yeah.
Your Liverpool fullbacks had no problems. Zero.
I've never seen Trent look so comfortable in such a big game.
Yeah.
Did you see where he was passing the ball from?
Yeah. Joke. That pass.
The pass to Mo Salah.
When he went round the Kanji.
Oh, the two of them. The first one in the first half when he was in between Robbo and Virgil.
Yeah.
And he's just spun it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the goals come from.
Yeah.
And then that one that you just said, both of them.
That one it's a joke. But there was no pressure on those guys. So we're all sitting at home screaming, get your pace on. Savinia's on the bench. Doku's on the bench. As you say, Grealish is on the bench. He can sack people in, get fouls, etc. And you leave 2 centre midfielders to play on the wings.
Yeah, I think, looking at it, I think he's questioning the balance of the squad now. Because he's like, are we going for pace? We're not going for pace. And like you said, I think this game screamed for one outlet as a pace. Whether that's Savinho or Doku, I would obviously choose Doku because you can ask questions of Trent. But he never done that. And it's puzzling, it's perplexed. But I was looking at the squad in the summer. I remember I voted him to come third. And even that now, they might not even come third at this rate if they continue on this trajectory. Or
people are starting to talk about them being in the fight for top 4.
Yeah. I had them down as third. And that was more based on the age of the squad, the balance of the squad, because they never had a number of wingers to pick from. And they were kind of central midfield heavy. But they hadn't found someone to support Rodri in that. And then KDB's been out. I think there's a number of injuries in the squad that they're playing with a number of injuries because Stones has been in and out of the team, 3 times this season?
Yeah.
And I think, Diaz has been out. Then
Akanji's been out.
Kanji's been out.
Yeah.
Ake's been out. So Walker's been in and out. I think he's had a couple. So I think the squad, in terms of its health-wise, is not in the best condition. But I think they got to play because you can't trust the backups.
Well, and I get that. But my thing is, even if they played at a certain performance level and still got beaten, cool. You could be like, okay, their top capabilities in there, but they're playing at a certain level. The players that are playing, they're playing at a certain performance level. We're not even seeing that. Every time the ball went City's defense today, it just looked nervous. They're letting the ball bounce, like just all these things you don't associate with that defense.
Yeah.
So I understand that the injuries have, really ruled people out in terms of availability and when they can participate. But the people that aren't injured or are coming in, they're not performing at a certain level. So now it's even bad when you're saying, don't worry, it's not the fact that you got beaten, it's how you got beaten. That's the crazy thing. But look, with all that said, Liverpool, another great performance. Shuffled the pack again. Slobozai starts. Jones steps out. And he's been playing well. Makes no difference. Clearly. Trent's back in the team. Cody Gakpo. Diaz is back in. Nunes sits down. So even with the rotation, it doesn't seem to have an effect. It doesn't matter. But VVD was top quality today. He should have scored twice, but he didn't want to give me my fantasy points.
I think it's indicative of how Slot's kind of got a squad harmony together. And I think the players are buying into not everyone is going to start. There are key positions where people are going to start, like
Matt
VVDs. Not even Matt, because Matt 10's been rotated a few.
Yeah.
He didn't start. He didn't start last game.
The core is
like Gravenberch, Salah.
VVD.
So
I think there's only really 4 positions that are guaranteed, though.
Yeah.
VVD.
Robbo.
Robbo.
think
Oh, no,
I don't think
because
Robbo,
Robbo got sat down before Tsimikas got injured.
Yeah.
So I don't even think that's a.
And I think
that's really only because he looked shaky.
Yeah.
If he wasn't shaky, it's Robbo, it's Virgil, it's Trent, it's Salah.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah. And Alisson if he's fit.
No, I don't think Alisson right now. I think Keller's...
No, I think...
Yeah,
because Slaughter said Alisson's my number one.
Then,
Even now,
Keller
yeah. And yeah, it's just good that everyone's kind of brought into it. It's like, right, I might have to sit down for a game, but we've got a game Wednesday, Saturday for the next kind of however long. They know they're going to get minutes. So,
just to go back to Keller, look, even now, since Alisson's been out, the performances he's put in, do you think that's still the same argument?
100%.
Yeah, like I understand why people would say Keller has done enough to kind of keep his place in the team.
But you don't do that to goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. I don't agree with. I would like it if it was like other positions. Because any other position, the way Keller has played, he stays.
And there's some sort of unwritten rule
that
you don't lose your place to injury.
I mean, you're a goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And what I also like about Liverpool at the moment is all this talk around the big 3 and their contracts. Normally, people not normally, but if there's any wobble or anything, people say, oh, maybe the off the field contract. No, there's none of that. Yeah, there's none of that. Salah's still putting up numbers. Van Dijk is still playing how he's playing. Trent come back from injury, putting a performance like this. But with one eye to the future, what do you think about that situation? You got 3 big players up for at the end of the season. For one of them is talking very loudly, Mo Salah, very very loudly, which I think he has every right to do. I think he's doing it a bit much. You know how I think Salah's a bit overtly arrogant at times. We're not hearing anything about VVDs. He's going about his a bit quietly, and all we keep hearing about Trent is that Real Madrid are gonna get his signature January the 2nd. But I do like the way that that's not affecting the team. I think you're gonna get 1 out of the 3, personally. But if it was down to you guys, I'm gonna ask you 2 first. For those of you on the pod, I'm talking to that listening on the audio, I'm talking to Isaac and Keith. If you could have 2 out of the 3, who are you keeping? Isaac.
Oh, me first?
Yes.
All right. I'll be honest with you. Trent and Virgil.
Okay. Go on, Keith.
I'll give you my reasons in a bit.
Yeah, go on, Keith.
I've said Virgil and Salah.
You let Trent go? Willingly?
No, obviously not.
No, but he is willingly because you could have picked him and you didn't.
Oh, yeah, all right then. Yeah, cool, willingly.
So why would you keep those 2?
Trent's the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at a longer term contract and possibly the money that he wants,
Yeah.
fine. There's no issue. I'm not really fussed about that. Virgil, I think his loss is a bigger loss than Salah's loss because I think we can spread the goals around the strikers. Whereas if you take Virgil out of the team, which we've seen, we lost Virgil to that knee injury, and look what happened to us. So if you take Virgil out of this team, I think that's a bigger loss than Salah.
And what's your reasons?
For me, right now, Trent's the easiest to replace, and that's just it. Virgil's too commanding.
It's a good point.
And Salah's goals, you're not guaranteed to get his goals by a replacement. Where you've seen Bradley come in, and I'm not saying he's going to perform
Same
at that level
level.
consistently,
Yeah.
but since he's been in the team from last
He's
season,
solid.
he hasn't really faltered. And if you go back to Wednesday, as you alluded to at the start of the pod, he came up to arguably one of the best in the world and didn't look out of place. So just based on that, and obviously that's not an indictment on what I think about Trent, that's just my reasoning.
Yeah, he doesn't want the comments in it.
Yeah, you got to caveat yourself
Go on, Adrian.
this game.
I was going to say Virgil. I'm going to say Virgil.
Mm.
I'm going to go with what Keith said, Virgil and Salah. I think for Trent, I think it's a motivation thing. I don't think it's... And when I mean by a motivation thing, he's achieved everything with Liverpool. I think even if he did sign that contract and you...
But this is about who you'd want to keep, not what Trent
all right.
wants.
For me, it would be Virgil and Salah. I think Salah can go until to 40 and still be... I don't think... The numbers that Salah puts up, they're not replaceable, and I don't think they're spreadable. I don't think... When I've looked at Liverpool of those other individuals, I don't think they give them enough goals that and assists that he gives.
And that's fair. Just a rebuttal to that. That's fair, but here's the thing: you let him go, you take the wages that he's on. All right, it's reported he's what, $350 a week. Let's be honest, bonuses and everything on that, he's probably taking home $600-700. Right? You take that, bank it, and put that, and go back out in the market and find someone,
Maybe some two.
or some two, for that one. Do you know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, but I think that it's not that he's easily replaceable, but you can take that money
And I understand
and
that.
spread it around.
I'm going...
I just think he's just unique. I just think he's...
I know, but that doesn't mean you don't got to bury him at Anfield, bruv.
Why not?
Because what he wants, I don't know. I just think you got sometimes in these situations, depending on the position. So I'm going to sound like a hypocrite in a minute when I give my reasons. I think depending on the position, you got to think slightly differently. I would keep VVD and Trent, right? Because for me, at this stage, the kind of contract these guys are going to want, like you said earlier, as well, Key, 33 now is not 33 where it used to be. So Virgil's not taking a 1 year contract. You got to give him at least 2, if not 3 years. At that age, I'd rather give 3 years to a centre back than to a wide forward, right? Because I think the cliff is a little bit steeper for the striker. I'm not saying it's coming. I'm not saying Salah can't keep scoring goals for however long. And then of course Trent is just Trent, right? He's unreal. So if you're Liverpool and the direction you're getting now with Slot there, etc., and I also think at some point you're going to have to get away from Salah. So why not do it now rather than £30 million later in wages and whatever? No, I mean, even 30 is optimistic, right? And these guys will know. What's his name at Napoli? Cavaschellia. His contract's due up at the end of the season. I won't be surprised if he walks into Melwood. Like, there's people out there, and I'm not saying you replace Salah. I'm just saying you replace his output. And you never know what happens in these teams. A lot goes through him. Everything goes through him. Slot could figure out a way where the team operates a bit more widely. You know, Diaz is growing now. You might get rid of Nunes and go buy Gokeres,
sorry to jump
whatever.
in. We don't even know how good Chiesa can or will be.
Exactly.
Like, he's back now, so I'm sure we'll get opportunities in like Carabao Cup, FA Cup, so we can see what he's dealing with.
So I think they will only get one. But if you had to keep 2 out of 3, if they had a choice, I think it's VVD and Trent. And I think for the hierarchy as well, Salah, you've been great, etc. But the way you're moving now, don't know if I like it. And also, If I give you that contract the way you've been moving, what does everyone else think? Oh, okay. When it's my time, yeah. Obviously, you've not done what Salah's done, but
No
You
one's
know?
doing what he's doing.
I'm rebuilding, we're shedding. Some of the youngers are here now. Da. Thanks, Mo. It's been great. Go see what Al Hilal saying, innit? And done. So, yeah. But despite all of that, Liverpool march on, annoyingly. But it's good to see, man. As much as I can keep getting on my nerves, yeah? It's good to see because the managers come in with someone like Klopp's shadow lingering over him, and he's coming in, he's doing his own thing, and it's working. And it's working in the Prem, it's working in the Champions League. So all of this, no. If you come in and you have a certain idea, a certain way of doing things, it can actually work straight away.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't win the Prem this season, I still think it's been largely a success. If he finishes top 3, I think it's been a success.
Well, yeah, like I said at the start, like
No, you said that he has to win the Prem.
when he first landed,
You said he has to win the Prem.
I didn't say that. No, I said
Didn't
when
you
he
say-
no, I said
No,
when
he
he
said
first.
in his prediction, he said they're going to win it, but he
Yeah,
never said
but-
they have to win it.
I said when he first landed, I said a good season will be top 4 and the cup for him coming in.
Yeah.
And then I said
need to
after-
check the
after
archives, 'cause me
pre-season-
and you had a debate on this
After
one.
pre-season, then I said we will win the league. And you were like,
Oh,
what
after-
happened,
okay.
what happened in pre-season for you to say that?
Yeah. So
Remember
yeah,
that?
but so at the beginning of the season, then that's
Yeah,
what I said.
he's right.
You said he has to win the league.
Yeah. If you
Alright,
just
well.
stuck to your story,
Well,
you would have had him.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
But because you admitted now, sorry, I remember that part.
All right.
Alright,
Sorry.
cool. whatever.
Rest my case, Your Honor. Anyway, so the title race done.
No.
Nah, behave.
I think City are out of it. It's not done. We'll still win the league, but the gap will be closed.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just today.
Look,
No,
I've been
he's
saying
had,
it for
he's had,
months.
he's,
I know.
yeah.
So what I will say is though, are Arsenal still in the title race?
Yeah.
So City are only 2 points behind Arsenal.
But
the
based
performance,
on
though.
the performances,
It's
But
not
that
even
could
like,
change.
nah, but it's the there's a number of things going against them.
I'm just
Distance
checking.
covered.
I'm just checking. Bro,
Alright,
City could be second in 2 weeks' time.
no.
Title race is not over, right? But I think we'll get to them later. But I think United are going to be in the top 4.
Yeah? United who?
Man United.
Of who?
What, in the WSL? Or
Must be.
We'll get
Or
to
the
the,
under
we'll get to
23s.
it later. But
Okay.
that's my early
all
shots.
right. All right, well, moving on. Arsenal had a London derby away at West Ham at the London Stadium. This was a weird game, which first half ended 2-2, I want to say.
first half.
Who's forward?
No.
No, it's 5-2. That
It
was
was
the score.
Yeah, 5-2.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
5-2 in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flipping hell, yeah. So yeah, it was all Arsenal initially. Of course, the whole Odegaard being back, still riding that wave. That tandem of Bukayo Saka and Odegaard on the right hand side. Then Arsenal get a corner, and the set piece coach works his magic. Gabriel doesn't score that time. Go on.
Where do you stand on the Odegaard Madison conversation?
Is there a conversation?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, there isn't one.
Who?
I was trying to remember who,
No,
because
it weren't me.
I know who's the
Someone-
main. I
someone
know
in
who
our
the
group.
main
Yeah.
person is, but I thought
No,
for
it
a
weren't me.
second I thought
I don't think
you was
anyone
on
backed
the.
him. He was
I
on
thought
his
you
own
It
on
was
that
weren't
one.
me. I said he's a good player.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone backed him. I think he was on his own on that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I'll check though. No,
Yeah,
no,
because I'm pretty sure there was
no, wait.
someone else.
No, wait.
I felt the heat though.
Yeah,
I
no.
was like,
Listen,
I was like,
no. Listen,
I thought
I
for
was-
35 mil, good signing.
I
Like,
was ready to throw away the whole agenda if you said anything else different. We would have done a whole pod on that. But I think early
Hold on,
days,
hold on.
when our friend mentioned it, someone was backing him and they've left him out to dry recently. I'm going to check.
Yeah,
They've left him, they've hung him out to dry.
Definitely.
And then again, West Ham don't learn the lesson. There's another corner,
Thanks.
and Gabriel kind of sneaks in near post and pops it in. And I think the trouble teams are having, when I looked at West Ham's setup at the corner, I thought, okay, all right, people are doing analysis. It's not going to be as easy anymore. By the way, all this I'm describing happened in the first 10 minutes, right? Obviously, Arsenal are changing it up and But it was the way Gabriel orchestrated the corner. He went and talked to Saka before he did it.
Mm.
And he went to Odegaard, spoke to everybody. It was like an NFL play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not to overstate the thing. So it was Arsenal all through and through. Second goal, Trossard in 27 minutes. And then there was a penalty in the 34th minute. You know, this game had everything in the first half. They did something I didn't like. Saka was meant to take the pen. Then he gave it to Odegaard because he hasn't scored a bit back injured. I don't like all that. You know?
I don't like it either. I was cursing.
But it's Odegaard, so he slotted it. Then the madness starts. And then the West Ham goal to bring it back to 3-1.
No, it's 4-0.
no,
Havertz
scored for the penalty.
Havertz scored.
Trossard with the through ball.
Yeah.
Do you
poor
think that pass
defended.
is as good as everyone's saying?
Yeah, it was good.
It was
But
sick, but
the
No,
defender should
the
have dealt
defender
with
made it look better,
Yeah,
innit?
the defender should have dealt with
Yeah,
it.
but that's
Yeah,
what
no,
makes
it's a
it
good pass.
because
But
the defender thought he could get to it, and he just dropped. He dropped to the ground like stretching. That's when you know my nickname. So-
this guy.
That's like when you
Do you
make a
wanna
pass
say
like
it?
that.
Like-
And I was like, well,
What
I
is your
don't
nickname,
agree.
mate?
You know my nickname.
What is it?
No,
no,
is
but
it?
for the listeners and viewers, don't know.
Locksmith, innit?
Yeah.
But on the real, Isaac knows. Isaac
Don't
knows.
do that. Don't
No,
do that.
Isaac knows.
No,
When you
don't do
make a
that.
good pass,
No, hold on.
what?
I'm not having that. Hold on. What do you mean that Isaac knows? Me and you
Isaac
played
knows
the
about
middle together.
passing.
Me and you
No,
played-
but
are you alright?
passing.
Are you alright? You alright?
One more
What?
time, please,
Are you
mate.
okay?
I'm
Listeners-
fine.
Nah,
No,
we're
you're,
gonna have this out after the group. Is he alright?
what about passing?
What?
You're not a passer.
Okay, alright, say that. Cool. Me
Yo.
and you in the group after.
You know.
Me and you in the group after. All I know is, yeah, bid for the praises for the club. I'm at the same number as you lot. Easily, if not
For what?
more.
For assists? John Baby.
We're digressing.
We're going off, yeah. We're going off.
Anyway. I do think who was it? That was a Mavropanos, was it?
Killerman.
Kilman.
The one that Keith said was a great signing for us, Tom.
It was a good signing.
Yeah, at the time.
It's still a good
Yeah.
signing. No,
It was
it's
a good player
signing.
when he left Wolves.
It's your manager just letting him down.
Oh my, he's my manager.
and your manager.
No. Bro, stop doing this.
No.
Listen. Let me
Your advocate.
No. The approach is correct. The person who they've employed
No, you
is a
ain't saying
mistake.
All right.
That's what
I
I'm
know that's
saying.
in the archives.
No,
You backed him.
I never,
But,
I never vouched for Lopetegui because his record here ain't great. He didn't do
you said
amazing
he had a
with
good
Wolves.
record at Wolves. You backed him at Wolves as well.
No, not at
Okay.
Wolves. I just said in general. But their approach is correct.
Yeah.
Moyes, thank you. The way he did it was cool. Let me try something else now, innit? But who they brought in to try something else, it's not working. Anyway, very cool finish on Kai Havertz. I don't think the Kai Havertz of a year ago when he first arrived does that, but very cool finish. And then Carlos Soler turns into prime KDB. And Fred to pass through, 5 Arsenal
It was a
players?
very good pass.
Was it
4? Bruv, it was at least 4.
Yeah,
No, I
it
think
was a
free.
proper
I
defense.
think it was
player.
free.
It was it was at least 4, I think.
It was free.
And it's one of those ones when they show the wide angle. I'm like, what are you
But
doing?
that's Trossard's fault though.
Why?
He wasn't looking at his man properly.
What you say? It was Neto part 2.
Brother. Yeah, I'm so vexed with Trossard for that. But anyway,
That pass was really good. And it's
It was
one of
a
those
good
ones you
pass.
see players that are like, oh, you're not waiting. Oh.
yeah.
It's worked.
Okay, so question. What's the bigger issue there in the Arsenal team? The left wing or the striker? Because
Left wing.
you've got Marty and Trossard,
Left wing.
who are both as inept as each other. And then you've got nothing up front.
I think you're going a bit far, but it's left wing.
What do you mean? In terms of defending that goal or just in general?
Just generally speaking. Because I know the big thing is that Arsenal need a striker, but
I don't think we do. I've never.
It's not
Marty's
big
not
anymore.
consistent and Trossard is always, Trossard.
Yeah, but between the two of them, they're putting up the numbers as it
Yeah.
stands.
Okay. That's why I asked what's the bigger plug, because I know for the fact Marty and Trossard are not your long term goal.
They can't be.
But we said that it's always
Yeah,
been left.
they can't be. I'm worried. Not worried, but I think the next time Arteta spends any money,
It's
it will
got
not be
midfield.
someone who's an attacking threat.
You think it's gonna be another midfielder?
I think Adam Wharton or someone like that's gonna.
No,
turn
it's not
up.
Adam. I don't think it's Adam.
I don't know. I've just got this feeling
To
that
replace who?
It has to be
Jorginho.
Belieber minimum.
we can't have another reason of Jorginho
But
doing
it's got to be Balaba. Is it Balaba? It's got to be Balaba.
He wasn't bad yesterday, though.
He wasn't bad.
No, but he's old now.
Bruv, you give him 2 minutes. You give him a quick sprint. It's curtains.
It's got to be Balaba.
Curtains and a
from
yellow
Brighton.
card. So
Belieber? Balaba?
Belieber.
from Brighton. It's got
So
to be
Brighton
him.
could say they won 100 million.
Yeah, but still pay it. Yeah.
No thanks. And then Aaron Wan-Bissaka, sorry, going back to the goal, he's got a lot to do at that near post. I wasn't giving him enough credit. Someone quietly said to me, keeper.
Nah, I disagree again.
Nah, it's a good finish.
The weight of the pass was perfect.
You lot on this near post thing, bro.
No, but I think keepers get unfair criticism for the near post. If it's hit early,
He slotted it near
no,
post.
but what I'm saying, he hit it, the weight of the pass was perfect from just the first time side foot. Low, hard. It wasn't even hard, but good
Exactly,
pace.
thank
But it
you.
was pace. The pace was good. That is going to be 9 out of 10
You're
keepers.
cutting him best.
I'll be real with you. I don't think he meant to shoot there, you know.
Whether he meant to, it went there.
Oh, so you're saying his body shape deceived the keeper?
Yeah. I reckon because I agree. You don't get beaten in their post.
Oh,
you
No,
don't.
that-
You
oh,
don't.
Wait,
I
let me
don't
add-
care who you are. You don't get beaten.
Let me add more context to
No,
that.
that's-
No, okay. Let me add more context to that. So, this is not one of those like Saka's one against Liverpool. The pace is high, blah, blah, blah. The guy has entered the box. The one place he should not be able to put it, look at where he was, right? He's facing on. This wasn't a tight angle. The one place he should not be able to put it is your near post.
I disagree.
At least make him like work with some accuracy.
I think the weight of the pass, the first time, that does everything.
So there's no blame on the keeper. Shouldn't have done better.
Not for me.
I
Normally,
think it was
if
Trossard
keepers
and
had a bad one,
Calafiori's
you say
problem.
keeper straight away. Like, yeah, I thought,
Whoa.
it's what it is.
That Pope one shouldn't be the goal. The one he let in.
Okay.
We'll go to that.
You only
That-
said that because he got onto it.
No, but that was a poor. Anyway, we'll
Yeah.
go into that.
Yeah.
But that was poor,
Yeah.
and he let that in. But
I don't know. I saw that. I was like, keeper. I mean, because even the pass takes out the defenders a little bit. I give them a blind little bit because that's the beauty of those passes, right? You know, they're even thinking who you passed it to almost. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
But that finish there, not having it. Anyway, this is all the first half still, by the way. That was the 38th minute. Then they get a free kick. And then Emerson, who hasn't done anything of note since he got here.
yeah,
Since Chelsea, it's been there a while. He claps a free kick off on the side of the bar.
Cracking.
Bruv, I couldn't believe
and then he had
it.
another one, and it just went over as well. Like.
Oh.
So yeah, he
And it
he
seems
was
a
up
bit
for it.
mad to be saying, to be celebrating a goal like that when the team's 4-2 down. But
Yeah.
on its own, that goal was crazy. And then Saka gets another penalty.
Yeah.
This time he takes it fantastically. And then, as is typical with all these games, second half,
Take a foot off the pedal.
nothing.
Peter's out.
He is out. West Ham did put a bit of pressure on.
Yeah.
But just give us a
Sterling had a
chance to
free
make
kick,
some-
didn't he? That
Yeah.
just went wide.
Yeah.
But it was controlled. Like, I just caught the highlights of the second half. But yeah, Arsenal done what they had to do in the first half. Like, you totally blew them away in it. And I think West Ham would have had a spring in their step after the performance they had on Monday against Newcastle, where they won when a lot of people didn't back them to.
Mm.
But yeah, Arsenal, since Odegaard's come back, you look a different beast in it.
Mm.
And Odegaard linking up with Saka, it's really good. You even rotated yesterday. Like, players were injured, players were rested.
Yeah.
Still came away with a comprehensive
party.
victory.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's about. So the thing is with like the whole kind of title races, the talk is Liverpool won't sustain what they're doing so far. But it's a case of, all right, well, if they're not going to sustain, why is everyone else going to sustain?
And this is the problem. And even then, Keith, yeah, the buffer you lot have built now.
Yeah,
need-
we can afford to lose 3 games. And
But not
No,
really.
no,
we don't
no,
go
but
that
I'm
far.
saying, no, but I'm saying,
No, it's true.
no, but I'm saying, like, we can afford to lose 3. You talk about the
Mathematically,
buffer.
but we
Yeah.
know what that can
Yeah.
do. But for you to lose 3 games,
Draw 2 and lose 1.
like for you to lose 3 games on the bounce now, it just yes, I think we need a 4-game Liverpool blip, and everyone else keep doing what they're doing for
Yeah.
it to get.
And
choppy
that's
again.
the thing is, if Liverpool,
And it has to be
yeah,
condensed.
yeah. If
You
Liverpool,
can't just lose one in November, then one in February.
This
No,
is
it
it,
has to be
yeah.
condensed. Yeah.
if Liverpool mess up,
Yeah.
the other teams have to take advantage, and there's no guarantee that's going to happen. So
I hear that. The only thing I would say though is, with that is, if you're making it a Liverpool Arsenal conversation, then I agree with you because you're just basically saying Liverpool are going to do madness and Arsenal just keep going. But if you're saying it's a Liverpool versus everyone else, well, you don't need everybody to keep. You just need one out of those 2. It's only 2 teams now, isn't it?
Yeah.
One out of those 2 teams to be consistent, which is a little bit more likely. because they've already had their blip. But you're right, it's things to stay, and I think, I think normally the pressure's out on the guy in front. You got to keep winning, I think the pressure's on everyone else to still be there if and when Liverpool mess up for long enough.
Mm.
You know, and it will be someone random. I said it will be someone random. Some Leicester City, Jamie Vardy volley in the 89th minute or something.
Merseyside derby on Saturday. You never know, innit?
So what, bruv? That derby is a derby with a lowercase d now, the way Everton are.
They weren't last season. They were up for it, weren't they? So.
You see them play this season, right?
Remember that year when Jagielka scored that goal?
Oh, bruv.
They were having a bad season as well. That
Scored
season.
a screamer in like the 92nd minute or something like that.
I was about to say, is that the game where there was a couple of red cards? But, anyway. So, but to your point earlier, Isaac, with Arsenal, I like the fact that Odegaard's back, but I hate the impact it had when he left. Right? And I know I've said it before that when you have a player that good, you're always going to miss them. And there was a period where we were still winning games, etc., and the discipline kind of got up with us. But is there an over-reliance on that Saka Odegaard pivot? Or is it just the fact that when you got players that good, that's it, you know? We're saying City are not finished, but they're hurting because they're missing Rodri and KDB and blah, blah, blah. If you guys had to, you talked about when VVD got injured, it really affected your team. Is that just a fact of having top-level players?
So the way I look at it is this, right? It's inevitable that you're going to have some over-reliance on one or two players, right? Because if you have a team that's up and coming and everyone's grafting and everyone's putting their work in, you're not really going to have,
like Brighton,
superstars. You're going to have a team where the responsibility and the level is quite shared out, right? But what happens?
Use an example of that though, Brighton or?
I'd say Brighton, Brentford.
Bournemouth.
Ooh, but Brentford becoming a bit Wissa and Buemo.
Nah,
Skarsgård.
You see Norgard yesterday?
Norgard, sorry, yeah, that's what I said. Norgard.
Schade.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah, let's go to April, but yeah.
But you get those instances where the responsibility and the ability is quite widespread. But then eventually what happens is a few of those players will leave because eventually they want their own piece of the pie.
Or someone comes knocking.
Exactly. And then, wage demands go up.
Yeah.
We can't afford to keep you. So we're going to have to let you go. Right? And then you get teams where one or two stay and they kick on and they become the stars.
Yeah.
Right? And, we saw it with Liverpool with Virgil. When he went out, we dropped off. Arsenal, when Odegaard went out, you just dropped off.
It was Saliba the season. That's
Saliba.
Yeah.
It happens, and I think for a good team, a really good team. I mean, and just the other side of that before I finish my point, look what happens when you get teams where they try to get all the superstars in one space. It doesn't work very often.
Carlo Ancelotti, Isaac's talking about you,
Right? So a good team will have one or two stars, maybe three, and then they'll have everyone else around them. And then it's the manager's job to manage if in the event that one of those players drops out.
Yeah.
It's the manager's job.
Fair. But is there almost a point where you want to have more of those players? So you could argue we were crying out for someone that played in Declan Rice's position, so we got him. That's another person to rely on because Partey was always injured, etc. But I think this period has showed that Odegaard's probably our most important player.
I don't agree. The reason why I don't agree is because we changed the whole system in reflection of Odegaard, and rather than saying, all right, well, like with you lot play the same system and you just interchange the players and they got to adapt to the system. So when you haven't had McAllister...
Wait, sorry, can I just push on that though? They interchange the players, but they don't interchange the important players. So that system feeds Salah a lot.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying, last season we would have said for Liverpool, McAllister's your main midfielder, right? Last season,
most consistent.
Most consistent on performance and what he was brought. And then Stotts come in and said, all right, I'm going to rotate, and now Gravenberch has become your most important player. However, if Gravenberch got injured, I don't think he's going to change the system.
He'll just put Mac there.
No, we put Endo.
But what I'm saying,
Mac before
I don't think Stotts going to change the system. to accommodate that loss.
Someone missing.
He's not going to go intentionally, I'm going to
But
play.
doesn't that slightly contradict what you're saying? Because if
We
Odegaard
changed
goes
this-
out and you've got to change the system, that reflects his
No,
importance, no?
no, I hear what you're saying, but he changed the system out of fear rather than, all right, let me continue playing the same formation and play Ethan there and play Sterling there and work with that. It might not be, you're still playing in the same
But
brand.
that still highlights his importance.
No, it's not. Because what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying. You're missing my point. My point is this. If you play the same 4-2-3-1, yeah, he went double false 9.
Bruv,
Let's not forget that. He went double false 9 and that irritated me.
We know. You've talked about it every week.
It irritated. So why, if you just play, if you weren't working, you're playing the 4-2-3-1 and then we're still losing, but we're losing some level of consistency in terms of patterns of play, how we build up. Because when we went the double false 9, our patterns of play changed.
Yeah.
Havertz and Trossard dropping in the same spaces, then we're in the area to occupy the defenders, where if we played the 4-2-3-1, played Ethan there, played Sterling there, played Trossard there, I think it would have been very different. So for me, my most important player at Arsenal is Saka. Because Saka, no matter what, he still produces whoever's in the squad or not in the squad.
So you could have told her that before, but you wanted to get the double pivot thing off your chest.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, all right.
Double false 9.
So I think that the Odegaard thing, because it's so important, that's what drove Arteta's fear that you mentioned there. That's my thing. But that's a good argument for Saka being our most important player. I just feel like the way the team has changed, the way it plays when Odegaard's back, and you have a point. Both things can be true. But I think that the fact that you reckon the fear made him change the structure shows how important Odegaard is to us playing the way he wants to play and us annihilating teams or controlling games the way we control games. And Saka is a recipient of that, right? So he's still very important to us and he can do what he does. But for the ball to get to him when it needs to get to him to do what he does, that happens the best and most efficiently when Odegaard's there.
Oh yeah, and that's undeniable.
Yeah.
However, I'll give you another example. We look at Saliba when Saliba got dropped.
Yeah.
His fear of losing the balance. So I'm going to play a right-footed player, which was Holding, but everyone knew Holding weren't good enough. And then he realised, he's like, actually, I'm flogging a dead horse here.
Yeah.
Let me play Kibuya there. And then actually we started performing a lot better with him. Even though he was left-footed, the way he plays out from the back, it brought balance back to the team again. And we went on to have a decent run towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I forgot about the Rob Holding night, man. Anyway, Saka again. Goal and 2 assists. Every week, people talk about, is he this, is he that? I think I said it before. The fact that he's always a common denominator in all of these comparison pieces answers the question. Because that means he's effectively the standard. I think if I can only name Mo Salah as a kind of right winger that's ahead of him in the Prem.
Yeah,
and Europe.
That's fair.
Who else is ahead of him in Europe?
Maybe not.
No, go on.
Who?
Nah, you got to say now.
No, you got to
Yeah,
say
you gotta
it.
say
Go
that.
on, who?
No. Listen.
Because Salah's number 1 in Europe, I would argue right now.
So who else is ahead of Saka
So
after
who's
Salah?
number 2 if it's not Saka?
I'm in their corner. Like, I'm backing them. I think
So-
it's Salah Saka.
I'm not saying that Saka's not up there. I'm not saying that he's not top 3.
So why are
Can
you
you
saying?
name?
But the way you're saying like he's so clear, I don't think he's so
I
clear.
didn't say that. I said after Salah,
He's
he's the
not
next
said
one.
that.
That's all I said.
You just
That's what
didn't
I
like the tone that I used. To
Yeah.
say. That,
There
but
you go.
it is- you
There
didn't
you
like
What
the
you
go.
said
tone.
is how you said it.
But-
There you go.
but the
That would
truth
But he
is,
is though.
who's before Saka? Then?
He should. But the
It's
fact
Salah,
that, the
then
fact that
Saka.
he is in Salah's slipstream is crazy in itself. That's crazy in itself.
Do you know what? I'll leave it there.
No,
You don't have to.
No. I'll leave it there.
No,
Because you-
don't
because
do
you have
that.
no
This
choice.
is the space.
No, because now's not the time.
Why is it not
I
the
don't
time?
want
This
to
is what-
derail the conversation. So
you ain't got
Yeah,
no one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
Whatever. And I look. I think at his age and his stage of his career, I think we should put it to bed now. It was interesting how Madueke, when he played those 2 games really well for England, all the recency comes into it. Well, hopefully, I saw someone on the internet. I can't remember his handle over as I shut him out, and he made a video, made a point of saying, it's disrespectful at this point because when there's games when we play, people are saying, well, if we pick the 11 tomorrow, Madueke is in ahead of Saka. Hold on. After 90 minutes.
And you know the other thing we forget about Saka as well how much defending he's got to do.
Yeah.
And I think if Arteta said to Saka, don't come back, just stay up there. I think that's another seven goals. Another
Yeah, he does have to do a lot of work. But if him and Martinelli do, I think it's the only reason Martinelli's still in the team, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Moving on now to Thomas Frank.
Yeah, I'll add to it later at the end. Don't worry.
Okay. Brentford 4, Leicester 1. Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game in charge.
It wasn't.
No, it
Oh
wasn't.
no, he wasn't. He wasn't in charge,
It
was
was
he?
the old assistant. that was
Yes,
still in
yes,
charge.
not in
Yeah.
charge yet. Bit of a beating. He must have known how big the job was, but you look at it, you think, are you going to be managing the championship? Do you take this job knowing that you're going to championship and coming back?
100%.
Yeah.
I think you knew.
Like, you're not doing a rescue job.
However, which I thought was coming at the end, I think he may be a little bit disappointed. And the reason being, if he held out a little bit longer, I think the West Ham job,
You lot on this West Ham job.
is
Bro.
your guy.
You want Lopetegui to lose his job just to prove me wrong. You lot are mad.
You think he's not going to lose it?
He's getting sacked.
No, after this weekend.
He's
After yesterday.
getting sacked
Yeah,
before
yeah.
Christmas.
And that's why I think.
You can't let him 5 goals at home in the first half and keep your job.
And the
That's
team
madness.
just looks a shadow of themselves
Yeah, it's madness. It's madness. It's madness. It's
from
madness.
under Moyes.
But you can only deal with what's in front of you, right? So yeah, but again, Brentford again. That man Johan Wissa. Who was talking about Wissa? Was he? Well, we talked debating before Wissa and Mbeumo.
Yeah, but Wissa's he's going unnoticed, but his numbers are up there.
So can we go back and just talk about the way Vardy bullied Pinnock for the Leicester goal?
It wasn't really a bully.
What?
It's a
Nah,
barge up. It was a barge
bruv.
up.
No,
Pinnock
no.
just underestimated Vardy.
Nah, he bullied him out of the way, man.
He underestimated Vardy.
Pinnock had it under control, and Vardy was like, hold it.
I think he just underestimated Vardy. He thought this is a small man, I'm cool. And he just barged him out of the way. It was poor though. You're in your box.
Yeah.
Don't get bullied like that. Don't get bullied like that.
And Buonanotte might nick a move.
He's
He's
doing
on
alright,
loan,
isn't he?
right?
Yeah, that's a loan that's going well.
from
Chelsea.
Brighton.
Who was it?
No, Brighton from
Brighton,
Brighton.
yeah.
Yes,
Played a few
yeah.
times last season.
Yeah, might nick
That's
a
the
move.
definition of a loan. Even if the team's not doing well, a loan
Yeah, put yourself
shining.
in the shop window.
Yeah, so that puts them ahead. But Brentford kind of respond. Kevin Schade, who would become the man of the game, we didn't know at this point, puts on a plate. Great pass. It's one of these ones where it looks like a great pass, but how it got to him between the keeper and the defender, I don't know.
Mm.
That's part pass and part bad defending, if you ask me. It's a bit like Salah's pass today.
Yeah.
That should never have reached the back post.
Yeah.
Should never have.
Execution, though, innit?
I guess so.
Execution's
I
right.
guess so. So he hits Johan Wissa for a tap-in. Another goal. Are they missing Tony?
No.
No one
They
even
didn't
talks
miss
about
him when
him.
he was on the
last
ban.
season. They
Yeah,
didn't miss
they
him
didn't
last
miss him
season.
when he was on the
No one
ban.
even talks
And then when he
about
came
him.
back,
Yeah, like he
Yeah,
got the
it-
debut, like not debut goal, the
return goal.
Yeah, the return goal.
and then after that, remember he was riding
Yeah.
the bench after. He was
Yeah.
on the bench. He was sitting on the bench a lot of the games.
Yeah,
The whistle
still
was
crazy to me that no one decided to fork out the money for him. And then Kevin Schade starts his run.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was he injured before?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. He was injured, but he hadn't scored a goal for some time because in the commentary, every time he went for a shot or had an attempt, they were like, he's desperate for a goal. But I was thinking, wow, is this guy? But he hadn't scored
Yeah.
since April, so he was. I don't think he scored a Prem goal since April. That's what they were saying. He hadn't scored for some time because they kept banging on about it, and then yeah, he gets
Good finishes.
mate.
Yeah, the pass
All
on
of them.
Damsgaard for his second goal.
Mm-mm.
Oof,
Good thing.
Mm-mm.
nice.
It was really good. The thing is with Brentford, sometimes they play really good football, but the approach he takes away from home
Kills him.
is so defensive, bro. It's like they're two different teams.
Yeah, it's like we view Jekyll and Hyde every episode. I think this season, and they've got the best home record in the league.
Yeah.
And then away from home, it's just like it's like kamikaze.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
It's just, and don't get me wrong. I know you don't want to go away from home and be reckless, but it can't be such chalk and cheese to your home form. It's just crazy.
But
But
is the concern that when they're at home advantage,
Mm.
They can be on the front foot. They can be direct and aggressive. If they take that same approach out away, that they can leave themselves wide open for the beating.
They could, but there's got to be a middle ground between. Do you
The
see what I
two,
mean? Between the two, because okay, they're doing it right now. They're 8th, but over the course of the season, that's half your opportunities for points, right? So if they're thinking about progressing and they're progressing in the league, etc., that away piece of the Brentford, they're gonna have to fix it over time.
I've just done their home and away. Home, played 7, 19 points. Away, played 6, 1 point.
Wow.
Like that's the
It's
contrast.
bleak.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bleak.
Like it's
Wow.
mad.
So if we average that over the season, you're floating around 12th, 13th every year. And you want to progress. You don't want to be consistently caught up in that. And the other point is, people always say, especially after a win like this, Thomas Frank, is he underrated? When does he get? We've talked about it on this pod before. One of the next jobs that comes up, should he be in the window for it? And I always think, to be honest, these guys, they go to the stats, they look at everything.
And that's one of them.
That might be one of them. It might be like, look, it works where he works and where he is. If he comes here, we've not seen anything that feels like he could expand out of here, possibly. And why do people think he's underrated? What should someone with his team be doing?
I think they look at the growth of individuals in his team under his management,
Okay, so
under
like
his coaching,
Tonys, Mbeumo,
Wissa, yeah, and that might be a bigger system as to why. But I think that's the issue. And then when you look at some of the quality of players that they've brought in, and then they've released one or two of them, because Wissa and Mbeumo is the next two to go.
Yeah,
They've lost Raya, so So it's just seeing what happens.
And some of the football's good.
And the football is good. The football is good. I think some of it's around quality, but something.
Sorry, some of the football at home.
Yeah, but then it's what is he doing away from home? What's the setup, and why is that becoming a bigger issue than it needs to be?
I think he's slightly a victim of his own success as well, because obviously when Brentford came up, no one thought they would become an established Premier League team, and you can kind of call them that now. Where it's got to the point where he's mixing with established teams like West Ham, Everton, just in terms of you think they're going to be a mainstay in the league. So when those kind of bigger jobs come up, it's kind of like, is he ready for that type of job? Like, he might just be a manager who's a middle of the road, steady Premiership manager, but not quite the person to take you to like your Champions League, etc. Because who's better than Brentford, really? You've got like the Liverpools, Man Uniteds, Arsenals, Man Cities, etc. But if a Tottenham job came up, would you really be like, Thomas Frank's going to take Tottenham to a Champions League and a title-winning run?
I see what you're saying.
So I think he just kind of brought Brentford up. They've become an established Premier League
and they
team.
appreciate him for it.
Yeah, and like his move might be abroad. He might go somewhere in like Italy or even Germany. Like, let's say the Dortmund job came up. I know it just came up, but if the Dortmund job came up, why would obviously the pay, etc., is a lot healthier in the Premiership. But I could see him going to Dortmund and seeing, like, give him a Champions League run with Dortmund and see how he gets on.
Yeah,
and then he might not come back to the UK.
I just think his body of work is not enough. Yeah. And what I mean by that, you got one or two players that are performing well, but I don't actually turn around and say, this season Brentford, I put them in for a good cup run. Or this season I put them in for a top 6.
Yeah.
They're not showing enough consistency for me to turn around and say, I'm not saying they can't upset the apple cart and get wins against big teams.
Yeah, which they've shown.
Which they've shown. But I don't sit here at the beginning of the season and go, I think I'm putting Brentford down for the League Cup. And I'm not saying they can't win the League Cup, but I think tactically, how he sets up, I don't see that from them.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like they're 5 points off second.
Yeah,
with that shocking away form. Like,
I think that tells you more about the league than them.
Like if they had just had 2 wins away from home, they'll be mixing it in the top 4.
Yeah.
So,
And I think there's a step. So you said from Brentford to Tottenham, but I think there's still a set of clubs before you get to Tottenham from Brentford, right? Because, and I know Brentford have stayed in the Prem for some time, but I just think that there's just some clubs that, like if Brentford drop out of the Prem,
I would say only Villa and Newcastle.
what?
No, there's more teams than that.
No, Fulham are not ahead of them because Fulham have only just come up themselves. Who else? Everton are mixing it down the bottom half of the table most of the time. West Ham are... Yeah.
West Ham was one.
But I was going to say West Ham as well.
West Ham is definitely a step up from Brentford. It is. If you look over the next 10 years, who's more likely to be in the Premiership, West Ham or Brentford?
Be in the Premiership.
Yeah.
I'd say Brentford. If
Over
they keep
a longer period of time, over like a 5-10 year period.
Boy,
I don't know,
West Ham have looked more likely to get relegated than Brentford since Brentford have been in the Premier League.
Since they got rid of Moyes, that's what.
Oh my days. Villa, Newcastle, West Ham. That's 4 clubs for me.
It's 3.
No, Villa, West Ham,
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Yeah, 3. Then Spurs. Okay, fair. But that's still.
But I think
Brighton?
I think they looked at him, and I think I just don't think.
You don't think a move from Brighton to Brentford is a step up?
Yes, it is.
Brentford to Brighton, sorry.
Brentford to Brighton's a step up.
No.
Oh my, we're gonna do this again,
Well, do you work there?
boy. But let's be logical.
No,
Look at it.
you're looking at off the field and like how the clubs run. Like I don't think it is.
That's important.
That is
too.
important.
But
Recruitment. When I'm talking about player recruitment, Brighton
They pretty much
If
use
you're-
the
if
same.
you're-
They pretty much use the same model.
Yeah,
but it's quality.
But
though.
I think the output has been better for Brighton. Let's be honest. Look,
I think
look how many players have left Brighton to go on to do stuff. I think the output has been better for
I
Brighton.
think if Bloom phones Frank tomorrow, he doesn't go, yeah. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it excites you.
So I think from a manager's point of view, he's probably got more to work with at Brighton, right? Brighton spent 200 million this summer.
I know.
on their
Good
players.
question. Good question.
Um,
I heard that stat, but that shows the direction they're
Yeah,
going.
no,
in,
I understand,
Right?
but-
So from a manager's point of view, I've got more to work with there. They regularly get a certain caliber of player from, it seems like the ends of the
The
earth.
far-flung corners.
But I do think your foreign piece is more likely. He can go and play for a higher profile club abroad before a high profile club in the Prem takes a
I don't
chance on
think
him.
okay, if Brighton are higher than Brentford, I don't think the gap is big enough to get excited about.
But I don't think any top club here does with Thomas Frank what they did with like Maresca, for example. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Chelsea would have put Thomas Frank in or the next job that comes up. No disrespect to him, I don't think they do that. You know, Chelsea were talking to Kieran, what's his name at Ipswich?
McKenna.
McKenna.
Yeah.
You know, but for some reason I wasn't there. So I think what you said is a good shot. I think that's a higher profile team abroad, the Dortmund, maybe a
I don't
France or
think they will
something.
look at him.
You don't think so?
I just
But have you seen
don't.
some of the people that get to manage Dortmund?
I'm not I'm not disputing, but what I'm saying is, I'm looking at something that's tangible, that's really individualized to him, that you can say, okay, I know you're.
Yeah.
I don't walk away looking at his team and saying, all right, I see what you're trying to do. Not being funny, Company was in the Prem, shorter than him. No, I'm being real. But I could see what Company was trying to do.
But a Thomas Frank team is very organised and they're quite bullish. Like, you know, when they first came up and they played you guys in the first game of the season, they played you guys with no fear.
Yeah.
And that was their first game ever in the Premiership. They were like,
all.
we're going to get in your face, rare.
But that's always easy for a team to come up and do.
No, it's not. No, it's
But they've
not.
stayed in the Prem.
I'm not disputing that, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying, when you walk away looking at his
I
team,
know what you're saying. Yeah.
what can you think of that's really like that's
Especially when you
his
compare it to what these teams want now.
ideology?
Yeah, especially when you compare it to what these teams want.
I just think they're quite a bullish, in-your-face team. And granted, it hasn't worked away from home always this season, but they are. It's never like you don't go to Brentford and be like, we're getting 3 points at Brentford, do you? And if he didn't have some kind of ideology, you wouldn't think that.
No, but I'm saying I don't look at his game, his team setup or the performance and say, all right, this is the pattern of play you're coming with. This is how you're
At home we
operating.
can. At home we can.
But is that
Yeah, I
more?
think you're doing them a disservice.
Like the goals we see from, especially like the goals that Wiss is on the end of, some of the goals that Schade was on the end of yesterday, we've seen those Brentford goals before. Regular.
I remember he's come in, he's taken a team from the Championship into the Premiership and made them a mainstay. Where we're not even thinking about them getting
I
relegated.
think on a
it
low
just-
budget as well.
I think it's more like you appreciate and you acknowledge what he's doing rather than actually looking at the full picture of what he's doing. And I'm not surprised no other teams are coming in for him, because for me, there's nothing pioneering about his football. It's quite.
Okay, that point I can agree. Like I said,
It's more of a mirroring of other teams, like, and a little bit of injection of his idea. But it's nothing that you're saying. All right, you're playing down the left a lot more, or you're building through the middle so much, or there's nothing pioneering.
I think this arms race that the top teams are in for all this type of football is gonna not implode, but like, so I think there is value in someone picking up a Thomas Frank. Like this roller coaster that Tottenham fans are going through right now, right? I don't think you have that with someone with a Thomas Frank mindset. You might not get the highs, you might not slap City 4-0, but then you don't draw with Fulham a week later.
Or lose to Ipswich.
Yeah. Or get beaten by Palace, who haven't beaten anyone before or since. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with you there. What these clubs are looking for, they're looking for the next Pep. They're looking for the next mad scientist to come in and mix two things in Bunsen burner and get it going. But actually, there's probably some stock in one of those guys saying, you know what? Yeah, you lot keep doing that. I'll take the slow route to the top. Get him in, get the positive things about his game, and then maybe here he feels like with what we've got here, he doesn't have to do that away from home. He's got a bit more to work with. Because we've seen both sides of it now. We've definitely seen both sides of it now. And to the point where even Southampton are letting their coach just play ball, which they're going to find that's going to cost them 100 million quid. Anyway, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But we say this in the next season, he stays there. So let's see. He'll soon be the longest serving manager in the Premier after Pep, to be honest, the way things are going. Talking of Maresca, Chelsea at home to Aston Villa. Every time I see Aston Villa come up against another top team, the game I think is going to be, it never is. They don't turn up and do what I think they're going to do to that team, especially if they're away.
Not for the want of trying, though. They had chance. So, like, 1-1, Watkins should have scored. Sorry, 1-0, sorry. Watkins should have scored.
Boy, we could have said that about 3 times today. Watkins missed 2 or 3 chances.
Yeah, so...
No, John Duran's on the bench looking like,
Wagwan.
Yeah, he's not in the form that we've seen previously.
I'll make you right. I think of the big teams that Villa have played, this was their better opportunity to come away with something, and they were wasteful. And that's why they didn't get any points.
I think overall Chelsea played much better than them. From the off, they controlled the game. Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo.
But Caicedo was right back today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, he was only right back when he didn't have the ball. He was only right back.
Okay.
Watching it, that guy is doing...
Yeah, he put a lot of mileage in.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for those players. The amount of information they must have to maintain is long. It is so long. But yeah, he was... And then he stopped doing it as well. There was a period in the game where he stopped going right back as well. But yeah, initially, when they were without the ball, went into a back four, I said it was right back. As soon as he regained possession, he would slot in and then go on the right side of Lavia.
And push Enzo up.
Yeah. So they kind of fell back into that. But yeah, Villa were struggling with the press. Obviously, they passed the ball out from the back as well. There were some hairy moments. I wasn't sure if I was watching Villa or Southampton certain times. So it did take Villa a long time to even try and lay a hand on them getting the game. And then Nicholas Jackson turns up again.
So this is in their post where I think the keeper should have done better.
What? So wait. Isaac, help me, please. So David Raya shouldn't have done better with Wan-Bissaka's. But this one that Jackson had,
Yeah, I think...
with the 2 players in front of him,
I think
and it came around the defender, the keeper should
I'm
have
sure he
saved.
got a hand on it as well.
You're being harsh. You think the keeper...
No, that was a good finish.
Well,
No,
I
it was a good
think
finish, but I still
I
think...
don't think the keeper could have done nothing with that.
Martino should have done better.
Really?
Yeah.
But the posted in, you never posted in.
It's
unless
right in
you
the
want to
corner.
take concussion, you're finished.
So hold on. So Martinez should have done better. But
Right.
Right,
That's what he said.
It was a good finish from Wan-Bissaka.
even though Wan-Bissaka's just faced them up 1-on-1.
I'm standing by it.
That's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, great finish from Nicholas Jackson. He's starting to become consistent now. Great finish last week as well. Great first touch and volley to side netting. Today, a great finish. The ball deflected on the way to him as well. Normally that puts a striker off. Weaker foot. Confidence is a hell of a thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, and no one's talking about him. He's just quietly
Getting on with it.
just getting on with it, going about his business. John Obi Mikel probably regrets calling him out. But maybe that was
Everyone
the
can take
kindest.
credit for it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
But
because
he
of
said
me.
afterwards, he said he says, you know what, you can tell me to shut up if he scores every week. Oi, keep quiet, Mr. Mikel. And then Enzo Fernandez is telling his manager every week, don't leave me out again in there. Don't leave me out again. Yeah. Again, more example of the control they had. Cole Palmer involved, lots of one-touch passing, and the edge of the box, he just volleys it in. And this is 2-0 up, 36 minutes. It's like, Villa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Rodgers wasn't really in the game.
No.
Tielemans, people have talked about his mobility or lack thereof. And I've always thought that was harsh. I say people, Adrian. And today I saw it for the first time properly. There was lots of times where he was trying to break away. People are catching him like he's running in sand.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great mover of the ball. Piece of great positions. But where he was trying to drive through, and Rodgers was playing ahead of him, so he was trying to drive through it. Chelsea midfield just picking him up.
And I think that's McGinn. Play McGinn there. Play McGinn in there.
Yeah, he was playing in this weird, like...
Invert left wing thing.
Yeah, inside forward off the left.
Yeah.
I know Onana was injured, as you mentioned, Keith, but Leon Bailey was on the bench.
Yeah.
McGinn shouldn't be playing. What is it with managers playing people?
And I think that's always been the issue with Emery. I think after his last two top jobs, which would have been PSG and Arsenal, what I noticed about
Was
him,
Arsenal a top job when he had it though?
I was about to ask the same
no, but
question.
you know what I mean. And I agree with you. I'm not disputing, but that would have been classed as a top job.
I said PSG and Arsenal. Yeah.
But he's got this thing about doing unnecessary tweaks or tactical adjustments, and I'm like, just play balance. Just play Bailey there, and then bring McGinn inside. If you can't play Onana, not that I rate Onana highly, but anyway, I will still go Onana and McGinn over Tielemans.
Wait,
But
Maatsen was on the bench as well. Maatsen's there.
so
He can play that role.
there's something he always does. This he always kind of sets up for the opposition rather than let me just set my team up and we go toe to toe because I've got that level of quality players.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. When you look at top teams, they set the team up. It might be a small tweak, but we're still playing the same way. He starts changing the way they play and all of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I actually see what you mean. And then Cole Palmer already had an assist. He'd been wasteful earlier in the game, in my opinion.
He had a quiet game.
Yeah, by his standards, as people
yeah.
say. But then he turns up with a quality goal
Yeah.
late on. He's setting a standard. He's setting a standard for himself that's pretty high. But again, the defending wasn't great. You let him get a shot off the edge of the box. He'd already wasted 2 shots edge of the box. You don't give him another go. Villa walk away empty-handed. And if I look at the league table, they're now 12th.
Villa.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a crazy drop
Killing
off.
my predictions.
Well, who did you have?
Remember, I had
Yeah,
them
them
top
fourth.
4. I
Yeah,
had them
them
4th.
I told you, man. I told you Chelsea were going to get in the top 4. I told you.
Is Fofana injured?
He played like
Fofana?
he was injured.
Well, no, Chelsea Fofana.
Yeah, he's done his hamstring. They
Is
said
it?
it's-
I thought it was Cole that was injured.
No, it's Fofana.
Fofana
He
came
came
off
off,
After 16.
But he was a bit shaky today.
Chelsea's defense is always shaky.
Yeah.
But the forward players are just too good.
Different. They're not as bad as they were, but even the chances Ollie Watkins had. Fofana made that mistake. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. I think the keeper did well, Sanchez.
Yeah.
I've never said that before. I don't think Sanchez did well. But did well to close down the angle. But he did have other chances he should have taken care of.
I thought Neto had a good game. And
Yeah.
Sancho wasn't amazing, but he done
He's
the
just come
simple
back
stuff.
as well.
Yeah, he done the simple stuff very good in it. So,
You know what I like about Sancho? Whenever he gets the ball, right back, me and you. Like he's very rarely does he go back to the left back like the Pepe style or
or Sevilla.
Well, no, that
or
was
Doku.
the gripe at Man United, wasn't it? That he kept going backwards or sideways.
Yes.
But we know him from Dortmund days and from what he's done at Chelsea to, like he said, get the ball down 10, let's go. You and me.
Forward pass or attacking the right back. And it's interesting the narrative around him. There was rumors, we talked about this saying, he's not liked, that's why he's not playing, blah, blah, blah. Maresca just came out today. I think he did it very deliberately because he doesn't shy away from talking about players when it's bad. So he just said, listen, I've said it before, Sancho is important to this team. Said it straight. He's been injured, he's been out, it's unfortunate, but he played very well in the week and he's very important to this team. So hopefully he can help us. And I'm glad he did that because we've not heard a manager back Sancho in a positive way for a long time.
Yeah.
And the managers who have done, they didn't manage him anymore. So when Tuchel was at Chelsea saying good things about him, he was belated.
Yeah.
Oh, I had him when he was at Dortmund and it was good. But so
Can I also give credit to Maresca? Like he's just like I'm not going to use ruthless. I think,
I think that's.
but and the reason why
I think it's a
ruthless,
positive word.
it's a positive.
Yeah.
It's just the way I'm going to play this. He's got his key players, but he's prepared to drop someone if they're not going to suit the system.
Yeah.
Or what he wants to implement that game. So he's rested. He's dropped Enzo for what 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to put Neto on or feel it. Like he's just saying, this is who I'm going to play. The only people that you can see that he's not changing now is Palmer, Jackson,
Caicedo,
Kaz,
Lavia.
and I think he's got no choice with Sanchez.
Yeah.
He's got no choice with Sanchez. But I think and Cucurella, I think. But then no, to be fair,
Yeah,
he dropped Cucurella for a bit.
for Reece James.
Yeah, he dropped him for a bit. He
So
played Reece James left.
Yeah, he's playing. So I give him. He's saying this is the system I'm going to implement, and it's all top managers. They're prepared to be ruthless, right?
No, I agree because look, even Madueke, he's been good for Chelsea this season.
Yeah,
so on the bench today. So look, and I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like to your point about Emery, Maresca looks at who's playing well and who am I playing today. Right, you're good for the team I'm playing today because that left back is XYZ. As like you're sitting out today because of blah blah blah. And everyone gets on board. It gets the results, and yeah. But listen, I think. Joe Cole said it last week, and he got a few eyebrows in the studio. But they keep winning, same way Arsenal's winning. They're in a title race. If Arsenal in a title race, they're in a title race.
And
They won't might not last as long, but
the only teams that beat him this season are Liverpool and Man City. So it's not
I think
bad.
that says it all. So yeah, the sleeping giant I think is no longer sleeping, as I said last week, and Aston Villa. I think the curse of Unai Emery starts again. But you look at the league table, they might be 12th, but they're 4 points off the top 4. So
Yeah, couple wins. It's
yeah,
different, isn't it?
exactly. We could be looking at a very different table come the end of December. So yeah, but that means, but again, if the table's that tight, there's no room for error.
Yeah.
Stop the tinkering business, Right. Now we move on to another manager who's finding life in England interesting. Manchester United versus Everton. You know what cracked me up? After last weekend's game, I want to say, Amorim said, in this time I've been in England, I've done more media than I did in the whole time I was at Sport Lisbon.
Crazy, isn't it?
Welcome to the circus. Dear. But it's Manchester United, what do you expect?
Yeah.
One of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Why if you went to Real Madrid, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
Or Barcelona or whatever. So yeah, you're not complaining. I'm sure your salary has improved considerably too, mate. Look, are we seeing early signs of Amorim turnaround or new manager bounce plus they haven't played the best teams? Like, no disrespect to Everton, but
Look, I know it's only Everton, but you can already see even if it's just the shape that he's used, but there's a difference to United already. Rashford's scoring. The players, there's an identity.
yeah.
It's taking shape. It's going to take a while. It's not going to embed in. He's not had a preseason. So essentially, these next 5 games are his preseason, right? So the quicker they happen, the better for them, I think. But I think United, this is the corner now for them. This is where they turn the corner and they start to kick on. Provided the players do book up and start delivering, I think this is the corner for them.
And Azza, do you think it's a thing of do what you can till the transfer window opens?
Yeah, of course.
Or do you think actually, because doing business in January is not great.
And so it's just to cut you off. And even then, I don't think he'll bring it. I don't think it'll be wholesale changes.
I was about to say, because January is difficult to get value.
No.
And they're not exactly flush with cash, it's PSR and all of that. So
Yeah.
actually, this might be him. this might be him to end of the season. So let's really see what you can do with these guys.
Exactly. And I think it would just be maybe one or two transfers. Maybe one out, one in, or two out, two in. But
and then some are raid on Sporting Lisbon.
Exactly. But I mean, if you look at United the last two games, Ahmad has been like, and you look at these performances, and it's not just with Amorim and Ten Hag or whoever, but you look at any other situations where there's new managers coming, and then they bring in a player that's been on the sidelines, and the player's moving mad, and you sit there thinking, well, what was happening? What is it that he's seen that the other manager's not seen?
But Ten Hag, sorry, AJ, but Ten Hag, Ahmad will play well,
and then get dropped
for the next game. So
that's
with Ahmad, I have to say, listen, he showed this before when Ten Hag was there. He just wasn't given a chance to show it for 3-4 games in a row.
But he's been moving mad. Rashford's been up front scoring. Like, you're starting to see, Cobby's just come back in. So, it pains me to say as a Liverpool fan, but being objective, you can sit there and say, right, all they needed was a good coach.
Yeah.
Not a manager, they just needed a good coach.
But I think Ten Hag was a good coach, but I think what he missed.
I don't think so.
Well, technically, I guess, but what he missed, I think personally, which he could get away with clearly in the Dutch league. Brother, he missed personality. I was saying it to a group of Man United fans. That whole head teacher, robotic, all of that. No, now they've got a guy with a bit of personality, a bit of character, and you love it or hate it. But the people who love it, they're gonna get on board, and it's gonna be different. Whereas Ten Hag, he just seemed like he's the kind of he just ran the place a bit too old school disciplinarian type. And I'm not saying Amorim hasn't got discipline, but there's a.
All right, but how different is he to Slot? What personality have you seen from Slot?
What?
No, you seen loads.
Way different, bro.
He banters with the press.
Yeah, bro. He doesn't look like.
Yeah, but I've seen Ten Hag crack jokes and
and it's a fair question, but okay, let me put it this way. I don't get this.
I understand what you're saying in terms of Amorim to Ten Hag, but then I look at Ten Hag and I look at Slot and Slot and Klopp. It's like Amorim and Ten Hag.
I hear you, and to be fair, I don't know how Slot would.
In terms of personality, I don't want people thinking I'm saying something else. In terms of like personality,
it's a good question, and I don't know how Slot would deal with the problems that Ten Hag had. Right?
Yeah,
he's not had that, which helps to be relaxed.
He's inherited a very good squad.
Coming into stability and the club run a certain way and all of that is one thing. But from what I've seen of Slot so far, right, and everything's not roses. He's got 3 of his biggest players could walk out of here, could turn up on 3rd of January and say I'm off in 4 months, and that just discombobulates the whole thing. But he just seems to have a much more easygoing, I've said what I said, no need to, like, it's never too good and it's never too bad. He just seems to be very in the middle. Everything's cool. Whereas with Ten Hag, but half the time, you feel like he was barking at the mic.
I did it. He's calling out the way he's lying on certain play, or how he managed disagreements and how he relayed it to the press.
Yeah, the Cristiano Ronaldo thing. You can be right and then be wrong how you enforce that, right? Bruv, whether you like it or not, yes, Ronaldo did some stuff, but he's Ronaldo. You're never winning. You're not going to win. He's Ronaldo. You're just Ten Hag. It sounds mad, but that's what it is. Then we're hearing stories that Sancho's getting his lunch brought to him in a polystyrene box in the youth team thing. Yeah. Come on, bro, you're taking it to like
he's been to tickle me or something.
Literally. So the other players see this and be like, bro, what are you doing? Why? So I don't know. It just feels like there was his biggest problem was a personality kind of connection to that squad. So when a guy comes with a bit of energy and it's clean slate, you're right. This is a little bit more than new manager bounce. The way the team sets up look nice. Yeah, there are times where the players look like, okay, in this situation, what do I do? Where do I go? And you can see him, saying, look, don't worry. You are supposed to do what you're doing. So again, it pains me to be objective. But if you're objective, it's nice to just see a coach and then see what he likes and what he wants on the team playing out on the pitch. It's nice.
And I think there is an element of disciplinary in him, because he came out and said, if I was in charge for Rashford, he said I wouldn't authorize that trip. And then we had it. But looking at United right now, because we were saying, is it a new bounce? Is it against the opposition? I think it's a bit of everything.
Yeah,
but the bar is, in terms of the key thing here, the bar is so low for the fans now. That and what I mean by that, what I mean by the bar is low for the fans now, is they haven't got a unrealistic expectation for where their players should be or where they should finish. So he's made it clear. Look, we're gonna go through some bad times right now, but trust me, we're gonna be here. And I think it's very different to how the other managers stepped into the role. Was like, oh, this is a great team. This is a good team. We're going to be good again. We're going to be great, kind of instantly. And he said, no. We've got some work and we're working through this. And he said, look, after the 1-1 draw with Ipswich, he said, no, we're going to have some bad results. Be prepared for it. But what I'm implementing is going to have us going in that direction. And you'll soon find out.
Do you think that the fact that he's come after Ten Hag, he's just like,
he's blessed.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, not free hit, but
he's blessed.
No, it's a free hit.
Like, as long as they don't see me like him, then let's go. Yeah, I guess so.
And that's why it's important to manage expectations early.
Yeah.
Because then you free yourself up a little, right? So you come in and you say, look, I know it was bad, but stick with me. We're going this way.
It takes time.
And as long as you do that, you'll be all right.
And it's very different to, and I don't want to have like selective memory. I can't remember when he said this, but I remember when he said, I can't play the football I played at Ajax.
Yeah.
With the players I've got here. And I remember thinking, what are you doing? Why are you even...
You can't justify and
I know sometimes journalists ask you questions, right? That suck you in. But even if the journalist said to you, well, you played this kind of football at Ajax and we're not seeing that here at Man United, there's a way you could answer that.
I'm working towards that.
Or even just saying, well, I did that at Ajax for that reason. Yeah. I think that what works here is something different. Yeah. When he said, no, I can't play that here, I haven't got the players. I said, bro.
Relax.
What we doing? So yeah, to your point, how you set those expectations, and it goes back to the point I was trying to make, personality, charisma. It's important, man. It's important. As much as we want to say whatever we want about Mourinho, Jose, all those guys, they all had their own very distinct personality, very distinct way of doing things, that you could see that. So just to round off the remaining games, got Brighton 1, Southampton 1. This game started off, I thought Brighton were going to hammer Southampton. There was some interesting defending in that first half.
That game reminded me of Bolton versus Arsenal.
Yes, I know what you mean. I know exactly what he means.
In the sense of,
I know exactly what he means.
They're going to play football.
Yeah.
We're just going to kick them.
Yeah, literally.
We're just going to disrupt them.
You kick the ball, I'll kick your shin. It was crazy. And then the only person I really wanted to kick ball was, what's his name? Diblin?
Yeah.
I was want to call him dribbling, but yeah, Tyler Diblin. And he's an interesting case, I think. You wanted to kind of bring him up as being in great form. And I think the interesting thing with him is he's getting to play.
Yeah.
He's playing every week, he's playing all the time. Whereas other players who are touted and a great talent and potential, but because of the teams they're at, they're not seeing the minutes. We talked about Waneri last week not getting the minutes. Mikey Moore at Tottenham, he's not getting the minutes. If they were at Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, they're playing.
Yeah. Exactly. If Archie Gray goes back to Leeds, he's guaranteed.
Yeah. And how much is that having an impact on his development now that he's not playing Archie Gray? But what I noticed with Tyler Diblin, over a few games, he's just growing in confidence.
Fearless.
Like against Liverpool, I was like, whoa, like a couple of times he ran at took on 3-4 players and picking the right passes. But I think because of the amount of games he's playing, like what you're highlighting, John, is he's learning from the mistakes, when to give, when to hold it, when to hit it long, when to come short for it. And you can't replicate that in training. Only so much you can replicate that in training. So
my only fear with the player like that is, like you said earlier, every big teams are looking for mad scientists, right? Or coaches that come in and do like Pep and say, you must receive the ball like this and you must pass the ball like this.
Yeah.
He will not thrive in a system like that at all. Because if you looked at that game, just that game, I know what you said about the other games, but if you just look at the Brighton game, he's running, he's taking players on, he's making things happen, he's getting into spaces, he's taking shots, he's fearless.
It's a bit of a maverick, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like he'll pick up the ball drive, and he's like, right, you man have got to come with me so we can make something happen.
Exactly. And my fear, my worry is that he gets into a big team and that gets coached out of
A
him.
bit like
don't know,
Grealish.
though.
Some
Yeah,
people think Grealish.
exactly like that.
I think he has to go to the right
Because
because
Grealish, I feel it was exactly what they.
But look at Palmer. Palmer, he's been allowed to be that person,
yeah.
and he's gone to Chelsea.
And I was gonna say to your point,
Yeah, but Maresca's not. He's not like Pep or
yeah.
But we're
or
only thinking.
Slot or Klopp.
No,
In
but I
that
think
you've got to
even-
play a certain way
but I
and
think
do
even
a certain thing.
I think even Slot will allow you to play a certain way if you're in a.
Yeah.
I think Slot. I think it's only
if you've
Pep.
earned it,
If you've earned it, it's very much system. But I think certain players they will sign and say you're going to be allowed to play this way. And I think there's a lot of top teams. I think he would. Tottenham would do with him, allow him to play that way. Chelsea would sign him and allow him to play that way, even though he was at Chelsea
I
in
don't
the
know,
youth.
I don't
Okay.
think Pep
I
does.
think if
Not Pep. No, definitely not Pep.
inevitably
I don't know if
when
Arteta does
when
it.
Southampton
No.
go down,
I agree.
Does
I think-
Arteta let him?
I think
Arteta.
his move.
No.
I think Diblin's move has got to be to that mid-tier team before he goes.
I agree.
To the-
Because
No,
by that
to the
time,
next.
you know what you're buying. Don't come in, whoa, Grealish was 100 million and he still got ironed out.
Yeah, because like
I think it's
for
just the
as good
manager.
as Diblin is, he's not going to start regularly at Liverpool, Arsenal.
No.
No, I
Man
don't think
City.
he should go there.
Yeah,
no.
so I'm saying,
He should
like,
go to
But that's why I said
He'll
Tottenham.
go to like I don't even think Tottenham. I think maybe like a Fulham, a Brentford,
yeah,
a Newcastle. Maybe like I think Newcastle will be
Mm.
a good shout for him
yeah.
to kind of get that experience of playing in like the bigger games, maybe like a
So why not?
European
Man,
game.
Newcastle
So why
need
not
that in their
Tottenham?
midfield, you know.
Why not Tottenham?
Yeah.
They got Madison, they don't need him.
No, but he no.
Yeah, like I
I
don't
wasn't
think
being
he-
funny.
I
I
don't
wasn't
think
being
he
funny.
starts.
but
No, but I
they
don't
play
think he
different
starts.
position because he plays on the wing. He's not a
Yeah,
central.
but I think
And
like,
to be honest, they've got
just signed Johnson.
Kulusevski,
They've just
Johnson.
signed Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
They've just because like they've got Kulusevski who's playing well. Like, do you disrupt that for Diblin? I don't think you do that yet.
But no, but are you talking practically or are you just talking a Tottenham level club? Or you're saying Tottenham themselves?
I think Tottenham could do with him.
I don't think that's where they need to be buying players right now. Personally.
I agree with, but he's.
New-
you know my
I
thoughts
think
on
Newcastle.
Tottenham.
I think him at
Definitely.
Newcastle would.
Yeah.
That's a good fit.
Well, Newcastle needs somebody to wear the number 10 number and play like number 10. Anthony Gordon needs to give her that number 10 and give it to somebody who's actually
I
gonna
know
play them.
Newcastle, needs
And
it.
he will thrive for it. Gordon will thrive for it. Isak will thrive
But
for it.
the reason why I'm kind of hesitant about Newcastle is because my guy's not giving Barnes a long run.
Yeah, but Barnes is more wing.
So what you're saying?
I
Move
think
Diblin inside.
I think Diblin plays as like an inside forward rather than a
I
wing
hear
winger. I think that's what happens with his roll down socks and all that rubbish.
Yeah,
But,
no shit.
You know, and,
So-
and even when you Azad, even when so I think the thing with people like Diblin playing at those clubs is they get the game time, they get their presence under their belt, and also it solidifies who they are. So when you to the point you're making, when they do get bought, you know what you're buying and you make the right steps. Madison's a long example of that, right?
Yeah.
Norwich, Leicester, then
And then-
Spurs.
So, and I was just thinking, I don't want to lose the player, the one from Brighton to Leicester, that loan. That
Oh yeah,
Buonanotte.
that's going well
that's
now. Buonanotte, yep, that's doing well, and they're gonna get relegated. But he played a season in the Premier, and he played every week. And the bigger club thing, people always talk about ESR and Saka and all of that. People have to remember the cycle that Arsenal were in at that time.
Yeah.
I think if Arsenal in a normal cycle, these guys don't get games. And I know Saka was good, but being a young player now coming through the Arsenal team, if you're not generational like Wanyeri, you're not playing. We've seen guys leave recently.
Mm.
We've seen people leave recently because they know they're not playing.
But is that just Arsenal or is it?
I think it's a big club.
So you think it's a big club thing?
I think it's a big club thing.
But
Unless
then
it's
you look at Liverpool and they've brought through. I think Liverpool bring through Liverpool for me. Liverpool, Chelsea
Man
in terms
United
of
to
the
an
big
extent.
clubs.
Man
Man United, yeah.
United have been consistent.
But Man United are not a big club, are they? Really?
Oh.
I'm joking. All right. All right, but all right. Liverpool, United, Chelsea are really the only big clubs in the Prem that consistently bring through
Yeah, whatever cycle they're in.
youngsters.
Yeah, whatever cycle they're in. Yeah.
I think City to an extent, but again, I think it's the same as the Arsenal situation. Unless they're generational or unless there's a gap to be plugged, you're not getting through.
Because Bradley came through regardless. He was on the bench. But again, is there a thing of where you guys were never, part of the tank on the lawn type with the money? So there's always going to be a part of your philosophy that is youth, right? So even with the big hitters in the team, you're not gonna have a stacked bench. You're not gonna have like a Man City bench or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
the same with us.
And it's always phased as well. Like even with City, like Foden was phased in over a long.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
4
it
years.
generation.
Even like Trent, Curtis Jones. Like Curtis Jones has been around the first team for 4
Years
or 5
now.
years.
For the youth team as well.
Yeah, 4 or
Yeah.
5 years,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
only
yeah.
now people are being like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
We've been sitting there
he's so
saying,
good.
nah, he's been good
but
for
yeah,
years.
so yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to make it through to those bigger teams, and even when you do, you've got to be patient with it. And like with Palmer, his opportunity would have come, but it might not have come last season at City. It might have been this season, and he was just like, "I don't want to wait. That I'm ready to play."
Especially after what he did with England, etc. You got to strike with irons hot. Chelsea saying, "Come and be a main player for us," and it's working out. Like, there's no wrong answer or right answer, but I do think that, to your point, some clubs can point and say, "Look, no matter what cycle we're in, this is what we're doing." Arteta's already getting stick for maybe not giving young players as much time as they could. Mourinho consistently got that stick as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think I think the numbers for Arsenal are going to be a bit deceptive. And what I mean by that is because he's given Skelly some minutes, and he's given Ethan Ranieri some minutes. And he's given the goalkeeper some minutes. So it looks like we're blooding the youth again.
Yeah.
But actually, when you look at it contextually and in its entirety, he's not actually giving them the minutes that they
They're probably
deserve.
at the bottom of the minutes table.
I think they'll be higher,
Mm.
but I just think it's based on where he's giving them the games. But if we break it down in Prem, then it'd be near the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Carling Cup, I think he played the goalkeeper that was 16,
Yeah, fair.
etc., etc. So I think, and then he's brought Skelly on in the Champions League a couple of times, Ethan on as well.
Yeah.
And this is what irritates me with Ethan in particular was Odegaard was out. You're talking that he's the next replacement for Odegaard, but you're not giving the time, the real time in the 10 role to exercise it and learn in those moments. Like we was against West Ham, we was 5-2 up, and it was a bit techie because it was like looked like West Ham could turn it around. But these are the times you say, all right, rest Odegaard for a little and give him and let him see how he manages that situation rather than the last 7 minutes. So
yeah, and when I talk about his approach, I'm talking about the games that matter, the Prem,
Yeah.
CL.
Yeah.
You know, Trent is out. I could put Gomez right back. Bradley's a right back. I'm playing him right back, right? Because he's earned it, whatever. And I wouldn't even class him as a youth player anymore. He's a first team player,
Yeah.
right? But he made his debut last season? Yeah. So it's
But he went out on loan first.
There you go.
He went to Bolton. Then he was Bolton's player of the season. Came back, and then Klopp put him in the team.
Yeah. So he earned that. So yeah, I think there's definitely a thing of, you know, it's nothing new, but I actually think as a younger player, getting those minutes in, getting those first team appearances, those starts in the league, probably more important. And it sounds contradictory than the level of team. You know, if Tyler Diblin plays 37 games in the Prem this season, playing for Southampton, they get relegated. You know, he's learned a lot more than you sitting on Arsenal's bench and playing 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, traveling with the first team.
Exactly.
He's learned way more,
Yeah.
developmental wise. And football's a long game. And I hate to say it, but if you look at that class of Hudson-Odoi, etc., that's a great example of just go out and play. You know, staying at that club and taking the money.
Look at
belong to
Bino
Pereira.
Gittins for Dortmund the other night.
He just Gittins now. He's dropped the bino.
Has he?
dropped
Yeah.
it?
I was wondering why the commentator wasn't saying that.
Yeah, he's
okay.
just Jamie Gittins now.
Oh, okay. Well, look at him. Look how he's performing.
But I think that's a culture in Germany, right? Like we blood youths, we
Yeah,
play youths.
very
So that's why you're getting a lot of youths saying, "What Dortmund's coming in for me."
Mm.
Like Leipzig's, I'm gonna go there. Leipzig's, they're coming in. I'm gonna go there.
Even
Because-
Bayern, as big as a club they are, they play youth. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
so it's definitely a culture
Yeah.
that we're gonna play you. Why are we gonna go out and spend 30, 40 mil?
Yeah.
And actually, we've got a youth that might need a few
But
more
then-
hours.
This is a perfect callback to one of the earlier topics in the sense of you play the youth or you blood the youth in. It allows you to have superstars in your team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to pay you at 18 200k
Yeah.
right now anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that. I'll give you 70 and give him
Yeah.
the rest. The rest.
And his agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. Interesting.
So just on this game though, I think the goal disallowed for Southampton was very harsh.
Yes.
Yeah. Like we talk about like the clear and obvious. If it takes you 4 minutes to make a decision,
not clear and
it's
obvious,
not clear and obvious.
Yeah.
Like just give the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
did he flag offside?
like it'd be good if that was it. With the screen,
Didn't you see it?
I saw it, but I can't remember if the linesman flagged offside for it. Or...
No, so it was flagged initially, but it was because of they thought Armstrong might have had a touch
Yeah.
when it came across, and they said he might have put off the defender and the goalkeeper, but I don't think he.
So then they went.
How
So
could
they went with the
put,
line.
he couldn't have put off the defender.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't. I couldn't see the complaint about it. I thought
with VAR
it was fine.
and because the referee didn't go to the screen, it was strictly the VAR. Can't the ref just say, "I want to go look at it"?
No,
Or do the VAR have to say, "Go and look at it"?
Yeah,
VAR's that.
Okay, I wasn't
to
sure.
the screen. Yeah,
I think
I think that needs to
I think the
change,
ref is
because-
penalties and certain red cards.
Yeah,
but it is goals, penalties, red cards.
yeah. I think if it's being referred to the VAR,
Mm.
the ref should be able to go look at anything.
Yeah,
Because
I think if it gets referred to VAR, and then they ask the ref to go look at it, or they come back and confirm or refute his original decision.
yeah,
That's
harsh on
I
Southampton.
think the decision was fair.
I agree.
Oh, you agree with me that it was a fair decision?
That was what?
That it was given offside?
No.
No, I thought it was fair.
Palace won, Newcastle won. Newcastle, boy,
Up and down.
not doing themselves any favours. But Palace should have won this game, We talked about Minos, is that you said?
Yeah,
Mhm.
who knows? Yeah.
He missed the easy one. Back post, tapping. Somehow, he skews his shot, side foot shot past the back post. I don't know how. He looked distraught on the ground, but his team had to come
Yeah.
and pick him up.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle go ahead. Did you see the goal?
Yeah, it was
Good,
own goal.
good free kick.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
Good
Good
old
work.
school.
Yeah,
you know,
good work.
you know, them Sunday League free kicks.
You whip. Yeah, I remember now.
Set piece coaches, isn't
Set
it? Getting their coin. Yeah, Mark Gay, who ironically could have gone to Newcastle in the summer, innit?
Yeah, indeed. And then own goal. And then Munoz turns up, back post, and scores a header that I think was way harder to score
Yeah.
than the chance he missed. You gotta love this game. And then keeper, as you say,
Yeah.
should have saved that. It hits him in like his knee, then his elbow, then it goes in. But he was on the move. He was traveling to the back post. The balls kind of come at him and hit him.
Yeah,
There's nothing he could really do about it. So they salvage a draw, 94th minute. I mean, Palace. I don't know, man. I don't know if this latest appointment is.
I don't think. And it looked like the manager was like, he knew this was like, boy, everything. Because he celebrated. Did you see him run down the
Yeah,
touchline? I'm like,
of
bro.
Especially after Munoz missed that first chance.
It's pressure though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could see him, he's gearing them on. He was fist pumping and contesting everything. I was like, you must be got us spoken to in the office. And said,
Well,
look,
if you look at their recent results, so that's 2 draws in a row. So it kind of slightly stopped the bleeding. But look at their recent results. They lost 2-0 to Fulham, draw 2-2 Wolves. They beat Spurs, great. Lost to Palace, lost to Liverpool, lost to Everton, drew with Man United. They haven't won a game. They've won one game, effectively, since the beginning of the season, which was against Spurs. So he's under plenty of pressure, and he was better off losing more of those games and winning some, right? So losing a couple of those draws and actually winning the match. So they're one place above the relegation zone as it stands.
yeah, Eze made a difference coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think whoever take, because I think he's up for the sack, him and the West Ham manager.
Mm.
I think whoever takes over, at least they know they've got a centre back, an attacking midfielder in Eze, and a striker, Mateta, that they can build a system around that works with them.
It's funny you mentioned the striker. I was about to say the Nketiah transfer isn't working yet.
No, I don't think he's going to work.
You don't think so?
No goals or assists, man, in 8 or 9 games, they're saying.
It's not a lot
good.
of games.
Huh?
Not a lot of games.
That is a lot of for the 35.
That's a quarter of a season. That's a lot of games.
But what it is as well, and the reason why it's a lot of games is not even the 35 mil is not a big amount. But the issue is you've come from Arsenal. You've come from a team that ideally is going to even more so set up towards your
Yeah,
strengths.
you always had more of the ball, etc., etc.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
so-
to adapt to Palace.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Palace are going to adapt to his strengths as best as possible. I just be honest. I think he's a championship striker.
Wouldn't disagree.
I think
I don't think he's shown
consistently
anything.
enough.
And if you look at players like Delap, who have just come up to the Premiership for the first time and they're doing bits in a team with maybe not as good as players as Crystal Palace,
And you know that the issue is because everyone's playing one man up front. He's not a wide forward per se. How we make the runs he makes, etc. And then he's not a classic number 9. His hold up play is not consistently strong enough. I think if he was 2 man up front, I think he would be problems. I think
But they tried that. Remember, they tried to put him and Mateta, I think, a couple of games.
But it's how you do. Is it 2 up front or is it him behind? And so it's just not worked out. I think they got a call, which is Mateta, Eze, but I think someone's going to become calling for Eze next season now.
I think so.
And centre back wise, but then get again. So what are Palace doing? So that's a big question.
Look, I think Steve Parish has done a lot for that club off the pitch fantastically. But I think at some point there needs to be a conversation about him and
The direction he's taking.
His director of football, yeah. There has to be.
Who's it? Dougie Friedman?
Yeah. I think there has to be. They've made some good sales. You know, they've done well in terms of bringing in players and selling them. But have they made the best decision with their recruitment? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You know, even Anderson going as well. Again, got good money for him.
But look at the impact that's caused on your team.
Yeah. If they get relegated, and they've been flirting with it for a long time, there's only so many times you're going to cheat death. They get relegated, all of that's going to pale into significance. Right, and just to round up, Forest 1, Ipswich 1. Forest, again, maintaining decent
1-0.
1-0.
1-0. Forest 1-0.
1-0?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
Chris Wood's
I've written that
penalty.
Yes,
My guy
1-0.
Woods.
Back up to 6th. Oh, yeah, it was a Woods penalty.
Bobby laced
Listen,
it.
Julian Dix down the middle. That's what that penalty reminded me of. Straight down the middle.
Yeah, I watched
so
this
they're up
game.
to
They're
6th.
comfy.
Yeah. Back to winning ways. Wolves 2, Bournemouth 4. This game was crazy. I don't know if I've seen this before. But
3 penalties.
No, it's first time it's
hat-trick of
happened.
penalties.
Yeah, first time
In the
it's
Prem,
happened. In the
but-
Prem.
In the Prem. But it's
No,
happened.
last time it happened was like in the 50s.
Yeah, it's something like, when I saw it was like 50s, I think 70s, 50s, and 21. Like,
Yeah. So, yeah. Wolves.
Kirk's goals.
It was good while it
proper
lasted.
Ooh.
Yeah, that.
Boy, that build up play and then lashed it.
laced
And that's the problem with them. They got these little flashes. Cunha did be dirty, bro. Put you back in the
Do
team.
you know what though? Evan Nilsson. He's
Yes.
nicking a move. He's
He is.
getting a move in
Yeah.
the summer.
He's doing bits.
He's not staying at home.
Yeah, he's doing
Evan,
bits.
you think?
He's doing. If he carries on like this, he'll do all
Well, how
right.
many goals has he got?
He's a nuisance player.
He's
I'm not
nuisance.
disputing that, but
But I didn't
to
say-
where?
I didn't say
To
Man
where?
City was gonna buy him, did I?
To where?
To the mid-table team, could go to Tottenham.
I think you're not giving way too much credit.
You're mugging of Tottenham today. You know? Everyone can go Tottenham, bro. Like,
Yeah,
they're
they can.
dustbin.
They can. Dibbling can. They all
A
can.
dumping ground.
They need them. They need him. No, but
That's too
I'm
funny.
not. Nah. I can't see him.
He's livelier than Solanke.
How old is Evan Nilsson?
But he's only just landed there. Like, I don't think he's gonna go yet.
Do you know what I think is gonna happen with clubs like Bournemouth and Brighton as well?
How old is Evan Nilsson?
People are gonna pounce earlier. I'm not getting stung for whatever money in 2 or 3 years time, whatever.
Oh, okay.
If the trajectory is going nice, let me have a go now. I think there's going to be a little bit more lateral
Yeah.
moves as well. Because Bournemouth to Tottenham, Solanke had pedigree and that, so if people feel like he'd finally proved it. So like Evan Nilsson, he might go Bournemouth, I don't know, Fulham, West Ham, then whatever. But yeah, if he carries, I agree. If he keeps this consistently, people will be like, okay, you're decent.
He's 25.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I see Larson though. I see Larson getting a move before him.
No way.
Wolves last one.
Yeah. Larson
to
and
where?
Cunha.
To where Burnley?
No, you're being disrespectful. Larson's a problem, bro.
I don't know.
Same age, but I think
He's
Larson.
all right. I think he
He's
helps
24.
You know what he is? He's a new Chris Woods. That's what he reminds me of. That's
So, and what do we think of Chris Woods then?
he's all right, but he's at first.
Well, you
I
gotta be
can't-
consistent with it, Woods now, innit?
Yeah.
Woods is like in his 30s now, innit?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Exactly
Yeah,
that.
He's got
But
6
yeah.
goals. Larson's got, how many has Evan Nilsson's got? Let me see.
The thing that I
Not
think is
many.
interesting about just going back to Cliver,
4.
3 pens, same keeper, the mind games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the mentality on those pens.
all different.
Yeah.
And he went different places each
They
time.
were all
Middle,
good pens.
corner.
Yeah, really, really good pens. And he's had a bit of a slow start at Bournemouth, coming off the bench, etc. But he's kind of worked his way in.
And to be fair, they're not really missing Slanky either, to be honest.
No, they're not.
Mm.
They're not.
And who's that because of?
Oh,
Evan Nielsen.
all right.
Clive.
Exactly. That's the Clive. Exactly. Bournemouth are now 13th, 1 point behind Villa and Newcastle and Fulham. The table's so condensed. They're 2 points behind Brentford in 8th and they're 30th. So it's all up for grabs, man. There's no room for error. This Prem, well, already statistically is the closest we've ever had, essentially. And then lastly, Spurs 1, Fulham 1. Spurs let slip a leading position again at home.
Very Spursy.
Very Spursy indeed.
Do you know what I missed? Sander Berg going to Fulham. I didn't know he was there.
Didn't you?
Nah. I saw the lineup today. I was like, when did that happen?
You know who the other transfer I missed? Broja. He's at Everton,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he's injured.
Yeah.
But he went from Chelsea to Fulham to
Yeah.
Everton.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, the space of 6 months. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah.
Must have given up on Calvert-Lewin, sorry. Has it looked like Dash has dropped.
Beto
dropped him.
started
He
today.
dropped him
Beto
today.
started
Yeah.
today. Yeah. Well,
Not scoring.
Not that good, but he puts himself about though, doesn't he?
who, Calvert-Lewin?
Better.
Beto, yeah, he does. He
He's
puts the effort in.
technically his shot.
That's what what's his name likes. That's what
he just
Dash.
doesn't stop running.
Literally,
One
he's a
game.
nuisance. Then he gets a chance and he'll miss 3, then he'll score 1.
But yeah, typical Tottenham, innit? You beat Man City 4-0 away and then drop points at home.
Yeah.
To
Great
Fulham,
goal.
to Fulham, and they're 10 men.
Great goal, Brennan Johnson. Timo Werner again assist.
Yeah.
Great cross to the back post. But yeah.
So
At
Tom
least-
But
Kenny,
Fulham
No,
had
the
chances.
scored when they had 11 men though, to be fair.
Yeah, but Fulham
Tom
had
Kenny,
chances.
Tom Kenny had the lively 25
Mate,
minutes.
his goal was
Sub on,
smooth.
It won't be hitting the
Cracker.
crossbar.
sent off.
Yeah,
Done my job.
He's a bit too lively at times. He needs to relax. I think that's a good point for Fulham away.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you play that amount of the game with 10 men.
And they lost to Wolves last time out, didn't they?
Yeah. But inconsistency again, and goes back to my point earlier about Thomas Frank. You know, it's all great with that football, but you gotta get consistency in your game. You got to. So that's the Premiership roundup for this weekend. Just before we go, a bit of AOB. We had a Champions League midweek, big game. And that's another thing no one's talked about. You know, Liverpool have had 2 big games this week. Right? Real Madrid, Wednesday?
Well, you say that. At the end of October, everyone's like, Liverpool got this hard run.
10 games.
Let's see where they are at the end of November.
Oh,
What's that? 9 wins, 1 draw.
Here we
Is
are.
this what we're doing?
9
No,
wins,
but
1
that
draw.
was the narrative. They were like, Liverpool got to play Chelsea, Arsenal,
Narrative
Man
from where?
City.
Narrative from when?
From
This is
everywhere.
everyone outside
Where?
of Liverpool.
Everywhere.
You know why?
No.
No, you know why? No, it's from within Liverpool. You know why?
No.
No, you know why? Slot said it himself, bruv. He said, come and check us after
This week.
we've played the tough teams. And I
Yeah.
respected that, but I like that. But he's like, no, don't give me praise now. Come back when I've played the top teams. So don't act like it's a narrative. Your manager set
But it
pace.
was a narrative. All right.
Your manager set pace.
No,
Right-
but he
rightly so.
said but everyone
said
else
it
was
rightly
like,
so.
you're not gonna sustain
Who?
it. But we did.
No one said that.
Bruv, I'll pull up tweets and all sorts.
Go on then.
Bruv, media outlets, Sky Sports were like, Liverpool got to play X, Y, Z.
But you've
This
got
is
to
their
ask
run.
the question though, because you under a new manager, you have to ask that question.
Yeah.
What is it going? You said
We're digressing.
no, we're not
And
doing
your
that.
manager-
We're not
We
doing
passed
that.
the test. It's
And
fine.
you're only
And your
doing this because Isaac's joined back now. Like you're.
Ah,
Look at
yeah.
everyone's
Top
doing
of
this.
the
I'm like,
leagues.
Yeah.
Whatever. We passed the test. Anyway.
9 wins, 1 draw.
Anyway,
Oh, man.
anyway.
Why did we let him back?
It's all right. We'll play someone hard soon.
Hmm?
We'll play someone hard soon.
All right.
Let's see.
But it's fine. Football likes the level to play for, did it?
Yeah,
Don't
of
worry.
course.
I remember this.
Timestamp it and everything.
Anyway, so Liverpool, Real Madrid, Wednesday. Liverpool comprehensively lost that game. Well, the story that came out of that was yet another poor performance from Kylian Mbappe.
Mm.
You know, everyone thought no Vinicius Junior in the team. He could finally have his favoured position. And then, how old is he? 19? Conor Bradley, 20?
20.
20-year-old Conor Bradley said, nah, not on my watch. Not on my watch. Look, I didn't see the game, the full game, was he that bad?
No, he was poor.
Mbappe was poor.
Yeah.
And this has been constant, right? This has been the whole season. Is he at a level where he doesn't get that grace? We're in December. This is 1st of December today. Is it overreaction or someone of Mbappe's level? We should have seen what he's about by now in that Real Madrid shirt.
100%. For a player of his quality and kind of pedigree, you don't get a blooding in time, even if you go to Real Madrid. Like, you turn up as someone that they've courted for 2 years. It was like, 2 years they've been courting him.
You turn up on £500,000 a week.
You've got to get there and just put up not only numbers, but performances. Because we said his numbers are not that bad for the season so far. But the performances haven't been there. And there's a debate about whether he should start on the left over Vinicius, etc. Vinicius got injured. They played Lagana's away last week. He scored. And everyone's like, oh, yeah. Let's
Scored
see what
today
he
as
does.
well.
But you come up against a better team in Liverpool and you don't put up the desired performance.
And what's even more mad about that is this was his opportunity to go, look, this left wing swing, this is mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no Vinny,
Yeah.
no Rodrigo.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead that line. I'm going to show you.
Yeah. Carlo, when he's back, you got something to think about.
Exactly. And he was so poor. It was terrible.
Poor in possession, lethargic on the ball.
Didn't look like he
Choices.
wanted it. When he got it, he was, like you said, poor on the
Options.
ball. It was just, and it's not like there was no options. You got
But I mean,
Bellingham.
the
You got,
options he was choosing.
no, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's not like there's
Yeah.
no options, but you got other players running around him, making options. He just looked terrible. He just looked absolutely terrible. I couldn't believe this is Kylian Mbappe. And to Keith's point, I mean, I totally agree. There is no betting in time. Bellingham come from Dortmund. All right, the fee was crazy, but he was their top goal scorer last season.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. This is the biggest stage. You've performed at the World Cup on the biggest stage in a match that was billed, Messi against Mbappe. We've seen big games. I know you're going to think, but we've seen big games where, like, I remember the Arsenal versus Barcelona was billed as Ronaldinho versus Henry. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are the games where your name is on. You're the
headliner.
You're the headliner.
Mm.
Everyone. So this was his moment. For me, I'm not saying the game itself was that kind of game,
But this
was his moment
Mm.
to be like, this is it. This is why I should be out on the left wing. And for me, he didn't take it.
Yeah, and we've seen a few clips here and there. Sometimes this one can be taken out of context where, the goals have been scored. He's not going to celebrate with the team, or he's doing something. People are coming to celebrate with him. Do you think there's some, from what we can say, and people will say, "Oh, you're not in a training group," but you can blatantly see sometimes within a team.
No, but even
There's
the
a bit
clips,
of a friction or fraction within the team. Do you think that's the case here?
I don't know about that.
Oh, sorry,
but
have
even
we seen anything to suggest that?
yeah, I've not seen anything. But for me, like, you see the clips that are coming out of training, and he looks like R9.
Yeah,
He looks a mad.
yeah.
And then you watch him in the games, and he just looks like, who's this?
Do you think though? Because we've seen a few top players initially struggle. Like I think Bell struggled a little bit in his first few. I'm not saying it
But
was,
he never went there with the same prestige.
Yeah, it's
That's
different.
better,
I'm not disputing that.
He
I'm
comes
not-
after winning a World Cup and
Yeah.
putting up all those numbers and all that
I'm not
stuff.
disputing that, but
Bale was never a Galactico. Bale was just a functional player who could help the team out. Like, Mbappe is kind of a Galactico
Yeah.
kind of signing.
you
So I don't think you can compare the two.
Yeah,
You
they,
don't-
they saw Bell play really well at Tottenham and thought you can come here and do a thing. And then he grew into that when he got there.
Same with Modric. Modric
Yeah.
was good, but he wasn't a Galactico.
Nah. And I'm just looking at number of players that have struggled initially in their first few.
No, I agree.
But like you said, the expectation is because he is considered to be a Galactico and a superstar and a
But
league
even if you
player.
remove expectation, just the standards he set, whether you want to look at performances, numbers, etc., this is well below the standards he's set himself.
And I hear that. I think like it's more of the eye test as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you said, he's putting up the numbers, but the eye test.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's not like Liverpool set up to stop him. It's not like
He wasn't doubled up. Yeah, they weren't doubled up, was he?
It's not like the game plan was to just like he said, every time he gets the ball, you go out there and help out.
But
just
that's
terrible.
unfair as well because it's all top teams. They rarely do double ups. Like Liverpool,
No,
no.
Saka gets doubled up.
All
Salah
the
gets
time.
doubled up.
One second.
No, he said top teams.
Top teams.
Oh, sorry. You mean the top team v
So
top
like,
team?
Saka never got doubled up against you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
It was just Robertson against Saka.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I
So
misunderstood that.
Top
Sorry.
teams rarely double up on like you've heard managers goes, no, we play our system and like are you gonna
It's the kind of thing Unai Emery would.
Like I think when we faced Barcelona, Wenger said, I'm not saying it never hurt us, but Wenger just said, look, we just got to play our game. And
Right.
and that's same, but Chelsea against Barcelona when Ronaldinho, they never put two men on Ronaldinho, they just played.
They paid for it. So look, the wider convo about Vinny and Mbappe. Where would you play Vinny and Mbappe?
Oh, the conversation's dead now. That conversation's dead.
So where do you play Mbappe?
Vinny's got that left wing.
He's got to play 9.
So where do you play Mbappe then?
Nine.
He's got for his stint at
Real.
Real Madrid. As long as Vinny's there, he has to play through the middle. Like I think
That's it.
Do you even like if Vinny drops off for me, then you say, right, you've had your turn, lad. Put Mbappe out there.
Nah.
So Mbappe needs to adapt to become a
9.
basically to do a Cristiano Ronaldo, basically.
yeah, or become a little floater in it. Like
I don't think he's a floater though. But
That's very interesting. I think you got to make a decision on.
I
Blame.
personally think that conversation's dead.
I think they've got no choice. I think I'm with Isaac. He has to play the 9. And because they haven't got no other 9 per
You
se at
can't
the
bench
moment.
Mbappe.
No, you can't.
well, you can. They still won't.
They
I
won't.
think if certain coaches were there, they might bench one of them too. I think if you have someone of a certain stature there, because you couldn't even argue with it right now. If he has to come off the bench in the next game, you cannot argue with it. He's been so poor, and it's even worse when he's poor. I think it's worse when someone of his stature and his expectation and his salary and all that stuff is poor. Yeah, I think it's poor. But so you're saying number 9. You say 9 as well?
Yeah.
I'm saying
I think he's fortunate because there's not a 9 that he's got to compete with.
Yeah,
So I think
Hostel was working better in this.
Yeah, Hostel
I'm not
Yeah.
disputing that, but there's not a 9 that he has to compete with. So
Yeah,
it's easier
fair.
to say you become the 9. Where
So
if
Vinny
they had
holds his space.
a Benzema, if Benzema was like a Benzema-like player was still there, then he'd be struggling. But
Vinny
there's no
holds his
9
space.
that he has to compete with. So
I
he's
think in
alright.
this period where Vinicius is injured,
Mm.
Mbappe has to step up and be like, I can plug a gap when Vinicius isn't around, which is mad to say out loud. But
All right, and lastly, does it work out for him at Real Madrid, man?
Yeah.
You think so?
what's work out though? Win the Champions League, or him have a good kind of career
No,
where
no.
people look back and be like, oh yeah, you done well at Real
No.
Madrid.
It's exactly what you said because they didn't pay all that money
for him to come, just
for
to
him to.
participate.
Nah, it's win the league, win the Champions League. He's
Yeah.
got to go there, win trophies. He's got to do all 3: win
But
trophies,
can
put
they
up
win
numbers, and put up performances.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like,
He has to
because
be
they can win
Galactico.
that and he can just coast in it.
No, it working out there for him. He has to go there and leave there a legend. Do you understand
And
what I mean?
remember, them Real Madrid fans are ruthless.
Yeah,
you know, they
bro.
don't care.
I saw the white handkerchiefs come out for Cristiano. So
Which is
Yeah.
and he
mad.
put up numbers.
Yeah,
So
But where does he go if it doesn't work?
it goes down.
that's
obviously.
the problem.
He goes back to France, I reckon.
Nah, he's burning
Nah,
his
I
bridges.
think
there, bro.
I think he goes England.
No, I said France. Like, it might be about
Yeah, but
Monaco.
you know the rivalry's there. He's playing for PSG. That's it.
Monaco can't afford him. The only
No.
team that can afford him in Paris is in
PSG.
France is Paris. And like Coco said, he's burnt his bridges. He won the lawsuit. They've got to pay him. They don't want to.
You know what I think it happens? It has to be an Italy thing. Italy, humble pie, take less wages, bang it up
think
again.
England? You don't think England?
Nah,
I
no
think
one's paying the
England.
money. No one's paying that money. Italy, they would.
Hmm.
They're still on the ascendancy. If in 2 years hasn't worked out, 2 or 3 years, I think Italian football is the next best place for him. He wouldn't like it here, bro. 2 tackles from a right back here. He's
In
not
his
having
shell.
it. Yeah, he's not having it.
His turtle shell.
Which defender was it? Davis, but he was left back. Weren't he?
Leaf Davis.
The one at Ipswich, right? He was tackling hard that game, boy.
Yeah, so the Mbappe saga continues. That's a really, really interesting one. What was the last big transfer like that didn't work out? Must have been a striker because we had a
Di
few.
Maria to Man United.
How much was he? He wasn't big money, was he?
Yeah, he was like 60 odd.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sancho.
How much was Sancho?
United. 80.
Oh yeah.
Woo. Yes, I think that might be the big.
Lukaku.
I think Lukaku.
think
On
he gets
reflection, look at his
unfair.
numbers.
His numbers were good at Chelsea. You mean the move to Chelsea?
I think
his
Chelsea,
numbers were good.
Lukaku to Chelsea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the last big one that flopped.
You don't think his numbers were okay for the time?
Nah,
At Chelsea.
they were
Look at
bad,
the Chelsea
they were
numbers; they weren't good.
They were bad.
The Man United one, cool,
Ah,
but the
okay.
Chelsea one, what was that? 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the last big transfer that's
Conte.
flopped hard.
Yeah.
I think off the top of my head, I don't think of any
But he's
others.
doing it. Yeah.
So yeah. All right, boys. We've got midweek Premier League fixtures in a week. So everything we said today could be turned on its head come Thursday night. So yeah, we'll be back next week with the midweek and the weekend's fixtures. Remember, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.